This week, Blotter, Hymns for the Road, Plushies, and we'll talk with Dr. Gears about what it's like to be an absolute legend. Since our last episode, Chappelle Roan gave a performance of her single, Good Luck Babe, at the VMAs, portraying herself as a 17th century queer swordswoman, Julie de Albany, who rode off into the sunset with her lover after helping her escape from the convent she was forced to be in and burned it to the ground. Lesbian D&D players around the world all have now been inspired to create a new paladin/bard character.
I know I am.
Right? God, it was gorgeous, too. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you saw it?
Yes!
I have no idea what any of those words mean.
You will be watching this today.
Okay.
It's been a queer awakening for many women out there.
Oh God. Yeah, this weekend was great for music. Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm Kelsey.
I'm Cassie.
And I'm Nolan, the K is silent, and this is SCP Weekly.
So other than watching queer swords women riding off into the sunset, what have we been up to for the last 2 weeks? Cassie, go! We haven't seen you in a month. What have you been up to?
So the most recent thing was my cat. And God, it's been such a fucking traumatic experience. I don't remember what I was doing. I don't remember where I was. I don't remember what time of day it was. It was kind of midday. He had this, my old man, 17, has this huge gash on the back of his fucking neck. So I ran him to an emergency vet, and they stapled him shut, and they sent him home with me. And I've been dealing with that and trying to keep the 3 cats unsuccessfully separated from each other. But the biggest thing was keeping him from jumping on the bed, which is where he lives. He lives and breathes and sleeps on the bed. It's his house. So I've had to keep him, that's what this thing is. That's my travel carrier for cars for the cats. I've been keeping him in the living room and failing the longer this goes on of keeping them all separated. But at least he has not been able to jump on the bed. Where are you? Come here, you. Do me a favor. Appeal to the masses. This is my old man. This is a very old man. Here, let me fix this. This is a very old man.
Old baby.
What's his name?
I see his side of his neck. They shaved it off and stuff. This is Sasquatch. This is my old man.
Sasquatch is an old baby.
He's my old
He's like,
boy.
Mom. This is
Mom.
We don't, not right now, Mom.
He actually isn't trying to get away, which is normal. Come on. Yeah, he's done. So, they had to, so that was scary. They had to put him under, to put staples in him. And, anesthesia for cats is very scary in the first place. Anesthesia in a very old man is not helpful. But they only gave him a light anesthesia, and it was like a big old surface cut where he wasn't bloody and bleeding and gross everywhere, but it did enough damage to where they had to staple it back shut. They had to clean it, staple it, send him home with a bunch of disgusting medication. Apparently, it's the grossest thing he's ever had in his life. And then having to hold him down to give him medication is very worrisome because I worry about squishing him too hard or holding him too hard. Very delicate creature. But he is. But I've been dealing with that. We get the staples taken out tomorrow, actually, so that's over with. He had them in for 16 days. So we're all done. At the end of last month, what's the date? Yeah, just about. Just before that was happening, at the end of last month, I was looking at an apartment I wanted to rent, was ready to sign the papers, was approved by a guarantor, no big, okay, sure, finally got into one, said, let me go look at this apartment again before I sign anything, because, you go with a realtor, sometimes they fly you through a couple of places, and 5 weeks later, when you're ready to sign for it, you're like, I don't actually remember what this place looks like out of pictures. I think they had shown me a different unit than the one I was signing for, because there is absolutely no chance in hell I would have been willing to rent this apartment. It was falling apart. It had that expanding ceiling foam under every baseboard. There is a hole in the wall, a brand new washing machine. And it was on the first floor facing the street. In I don't really care what kind of neighborhood, but it wasn't exactly a nice, glistening neighborhood. So there was like 50 people outside, yelling, screaming, having fun. Can't begrudge them for that, just because this is where my apartment would happen to be. But just looking at the place, I walked in, I walked out. I'm like, there's no way I would have agreed to this shit. So I didn't sign for it, which kept me in kind of a bind. So the lady I was renting this Airbnb from, she's going to rent me monthly off of Airbnb. So we signed a leasing contract for the next month or two, and then we'll reevaluate. My my family owns a house in Flushing that my grandfather built in the fucking 50s, and they had a renter in the top upstairs apartment. They want me to take it over. It's well within my price range, utilities, family, whatever. But I don't want to live with this fucking Trump-worshipping family of mine. I also don't like that it's the first place I ever lived once I came home from the hospital after being born, was in that apartment. And I also don't like that I'm 40 and somehow I wound up back in this fucking house. I love that house. I would have bought that house and lived in it for the rest of my life. But to have gone through everything just to be 180 back into that fucking house I spent majority of my life in, it bothers me. But I think I have to at least convince myself it doesn't have to be forever. It would be within my price range. It would give me a chance to put my shit down, get things out of storage, and still maybe look for something else at some point.
Yeah.
But I really... Seems
like a boon.
There's so many negative feelings involved in me living there. It's also, we just passed 9/11. It's also the windows I watched the towers fall from.
Oh, damn.
So there's that. There's a lot of memories in that house. Yeah, you could see across Manhattan from the upstairs windows. So that was fun.
Seems like you're trying to talk yourself out of it.
No, I'm trying to talk myself into it. The negatives are obvious, and they're very heavy. And I could keep coming up with negatives, but I'm pretty sure, though, like, having to be back in that house is the worst one. And that's the biggest negative, and that's the biggest problem. And I couldn't possibly talk myself out of it any harder than that, so I'm trying to talk myself into it.
Is it a safe neighborhood?
I mean, it's Queens, it's Flushing. It's just, I have so many emotions left over from this divorce that I'm trying to not sit with the really... Yeah, I'm trying to not sit with the negative ones more often than I have to. Because I don't work well with these things. So it's one of those things where I know I will be there one night, every night, whatever, even just one night, and have that moment of panic and depression of where I am. And I don't like where that could take my whole entire brain. So it's really kind of scary.
That's fair.
So I'm going to stay here, at least for this month. I might for next month, too. I probably will, just because now I don't have to scramble to find anything. This is within my price range. This is the higher top end of my price range. But it's fully furnished, utilities included. Higher end price range. So that's okay.
I can say it at our age, like if I was faced with the thought of having to move back in with family, it would devastate me.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact, so I can sympathize with you. I can't imagine being in that position, but I know how I would feel. So
yeah,
yuck.
Even at my age, going That's
So-
all. Moving back to live with my family is a
Yeah.
fucking nightmare.
So
Think
this is the only time. Also, this is the only time in my life I've felt negative about moving back in there. Like I'm like, ew, Trump, ew, whatever. I have to deal with these
Yeah.
people. That would have been fine. It's all the other negative emotions about where I am in life and the things that have happened this year. I spent most of my life, like I hit 18, I moved to Provo, Utah to be with friends. I moved back to that house. I moved to Florida. I was in Florida for 3 years. I moved back to that house. I moved to Connecticut, moved back to that house. I moved to Virginia, moved back to that house. I moved to Philly, moved back to that house, moved to Philly, moved to Jersey, moved to Missouri. And now I'm going back to that house.
Seems like life is trying
I
to
have-
tell you something.
I know. I'm aware that house is a rubber band on me.
Yeah.
And I've never had an emotion like this want to keep me from it. I'd have been fine trying to talk my aunt into some sense the rest of my life with us two little old women and our cats. It's just that complete turnaround from where I was this time last year, this time 5 years ago.
Yeah.
All the things I had planned for forever else. My situation now makes me very unhappy. It's so many more things that go with that weight moving back into this house. So it's not even the house or my aunt. It's
Sort
I
of
don't
symbolic.
I don't really like how it makes my brain squeak in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
I don't do well with those directions. I have very bad track record with negative emotions.
Very fair.
But I'm here, I'm safe, I'm gonna be staying here probably until the end of November or so. Maybe a bit longer because I started work. Work is good. I make $1 million. I make decent money, but I sell really well. So when
Yeah.
I say I make $1 million, is I sell a lot of money. But I'm only part-time. But with the holiday season coming up, I will probably be begging for time off, considering where it is and what store it is and all those things and what's involved in this job. So
the holidays coming up, you could be, I mean, in your line of business, that's where the money is.
that's what we're getting ready for now.
Yeah. All the way through February, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, probably until, and then there'll be after Valentine's sales. So probably through the end of February, I'm going to be going quite insane.
Yeah, because you're gonna have a lot of proposals around New Year's too.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to think about that, but yes.
Yeah, especially where you are. Holy shit, Times Square.
Yep. It's a big thing. And where this place is, we're outside of Penn Station. So people come into New York City to do something like that. They go through Penn Station. Pretty much everything goes through 34th Street in Manhattan.
Yeah.
To get to Times Square, to get to an airport, to get from an airport, to go anywhere between Long Island and New Jersey, chances are you're passing through 34th Street and Penn. To get down from upstate. So it's going to be quite fucking crazy with tourists. So I might stay here through the end of the year, just so I don't have to fucking deal with anything, because that's just another move. It would be a last move-ish. But I don't think I want that extra stress, and I can just say I'm fine. I'll pay the extra whatever it is for storage if I have to, just to not deal with this shit for a little bit longer. I'm doing better than I had been, now that I've had a chance to just sit with things and see friends and do stuff.
All right. Nolan, how you been?
Yeah, just working. Not much else, really.
How's work been going?
It's been all right. This coming week, a bit short on hours. We got some clients going on vacation with families, so looking at roughly 25 to 27 hours this week for work. One of our departments is a bit short-staffed, so they're probably needing people, so that might give me some extra hours I need, so yeah.
Right on. God, in the last 2 weeks, it's a blur. I joined.
It's always fucking something.
My local theater.
Nice.
Like my local playhouse.
Yeah, you were saying you were.
And I just looked them up to. I was just looking for like an improv night or something like that to go and just mess around, have fun. You know, I'm on the play reading committee. So the play selection committee. And so I've been reading so many plays because these guys are starving for volunteers. Really, the things that I signed up for are the things that should help me in film school. Read a lot of scripts, do some set design, get my feet wet doing a little bit of assisting the director, things like that. So, it's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of cleaning out basements. It's a lot of scrubbing dressing room walls, things like that. But it's good work, good people.
Nice.
We went to so they have like a straight improv, which they haven't had a meeting in a while just because people aren't very interested. But one of the improv things that they do falls under improv is they actually have a writing improv night. And it's people can write short 10-minute plays, and it's like write a 10-minute play, drop it in the hat, and then anybody who wants to act in those plays can drop their name in a hat. And it's sort of like we'll draw the play out of a hat, and we'll draw the names out of a hat, and we'll write it, and we'll act it out on the stage right then and there.
It's scenes from a hat.
Yeah.
It's scenes from a hat. I love it.
It's very, very, very cool.
My favorite improv shit ever. It's scenes from a hat.
I had
I love Whose Line so much. It's great.
More fun that night than I've had in a long time. And then last Wednesday night, I played my first D&D session ever.
Hey.
Which was fucking great.
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing. I loved it. I was like a fish in water finally. So I've kind of hinted at some of my background. So I was homeschooled during the Satanic Panic.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
And so kind of looking back at my life, like I so would have been a theater kid. Like given the opportunity in high school, I so would have been a theater kid sitting in the basement playing D&D. So I'm getting to like, okay, this is where I should have been 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. I'm just now catching up in some of these things. So yeah, and then we'll talk a little later possibly about some D&D campaign stuff because we've been talking for a while.
Yeah.
And now we've got
what character did you play?
I play a cleric artificer.
Nice.
Yeah, it's supporting like.
Before we move on, I want to add in, since we're talking D&D, I actually found a way to, in my mind, create the Grand Karcist Ion as a D&D character.
Oh shit!
Yeah, of what's called an aberrant. Yeah, of what's called an aberrant mind sorcerer, which essentially is a person who gets their magical abilities from some kind of other power, but it's not like a warlock where it's like, oh, they sign a pact, but it's like they pierced kind of beyond the veil and they saw something and now it's latched on.
So no, an eldritch patron.
Yeah, but again, it's not like a patron in the sense that it's like a warlock. It's a sense that it's like something has latched onto you, something that's not wanting to let go. And it does have that capability of like altering your own flesh. Once you get like to a certain level, you are capable of like making one of these feats. Like I think one of them is like, if I remember correctly, like being able to like make yourself grow like a pair of like flesh wings from your back that you can use like fly for your action.
Oh, let's do on-site news. We're already running a little behind. I'll shoot Gears a message and let him know his kid's birthday is today, so he can't stay past 2.
No,
I said that shouldn't be a problem. But
we're good to go.
On September 2nd, Stormbreath started a discussion on abolishing the admin contact role among the wiki staff teams. The admin contact is a member of the admin team that is assigned to each staff team as a liaison. After examining the way those positions are used and filled among the various staff teams, staff has largely reached a consensus that the role is no longer needed outside of the licensing team, and that if staff teams need an admin contact, they have the ability to create the position on an as-needed basis.
On September 11th, Parallel Potatoes started a discussion on adjusting the mod tools vote discussion period. The conversation started because there, quote, is no opportunity to raise potential issues about a potential user before the vote starts. The proposed solution is to set a mandatory 2-week discussion period similar to the promotion policy. The discussion will continue until September 25th.
User Yellow Cats had their membership revoked for posting 3 different cold posts within a 1-hour period. These posts were titled Draft 1, Draft 2, and SCP-001 Draft. Of these, 2 were extremely short and full of SPAG errors, and 1 was completely blank. User Jameson Miller had their membership revoked for posting 7 extremely short or blank articles. The theme. Of those with text, 1 read, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this SCP is class terminated. We have no other info at the moment. And another read, SCP-8985 is a female great white shark humanoid, more human than shark, with pink hair. Love it. Still another called its anomaly to be kept in a 100,000 by 10,000 by 10 million room. It's a big room. Big room. User X Hunter Kaboom had their membership revoked for spamming 4 nearly identical cold... This is crazy. User X Hunter Kaboom had their membership revoked for spamming 4 nearly identical cold posts in less than an hour, each rife with SPAG errors. Staff have noted that user Kokoro_Hime, who previously had their membership revoked for making unauthorized edits, has been spamming repeated rewrite requests for SCP-712, an article which has spent well over a year in the deletion range and has been rewritten unsuccessfully by several authors.
Wild.
What the heck is up with that?
User JMKML had their membership revoked for replying to closed staff posts and making unauthorized edits to other authors' articles. User StickyXDXD has received a warning after posting 3 low-quality cold posts. The description section of one of these articles read, SCP-8123 is human person, 1.60M, like 20 years old. He is thin. He says his name is Will. User Donut777 has had their membership revoked for immaturity after repeatedly reposting the same page unedited after it was deleted. Their first post had the edit comment, "Hi mods, don't remove this, please, I beg." According to Zen, upon the page receiving downvotes, they posted multiple comments in the discussion section requesting that the page not be deleted, even though it was low rated, as it was their first page on the site and they would be upset if it were to be removed. User Ivan Navi has received a permanent ban for sock puppeting and vote manipulation after staff concluded that no less than 10 other accounts on the wiki, all of which have upvoted Ivan Navi's work, were actually owned by Ivan Navi themselves. Most of these accounts have done little other than upvote Ivan Navi's articles. Hawk, how many times can you put Ivan Navi in? That's so hard to say. It's like reading a word in the. It's like reading a word in the mirror. User Yellow Monkey received a permanent ban for trolling after posting a low-quality page entitled "How good is the SCP Foundation's anti-vandalism?" Meta.
Sorry.
User A. Wexford has received a permanent ban for telling another user to kill themselves in the official SCP Discord server.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Wow.
See ya. Fucking do not pass go.
God damn. Oh, this one's a good one. User Tiaman has received permanent bans from both the wiki and its official Discord server after suddenly announcing that they were becoming anti-Semitic as a result of the war in Gaza and doubling down when challenged. Notably, Tiaman was an active author, having written 13 articles over a 7-year career.
Damn.
Jesus Christ, dude. What the fuck?
Hey guys, just popping in to let you know that I'm a fucking racist. No. We implore you to reconsider. Yeah, okay, I did. Still racist. I'm out.
Tiaman just doing stand-up. What's
Yeah.
the deal with Jewish people?
Fuck.
Oh my. The fucking Seinfeld. Way to go. That's amazing.
My wife, I was sitting in our living room one day last week, and just from the other room, my wife was like, "Hey, babe, I got a question." I was like, "What?" She was like, "What does anti-Semitic mean?" Literally, this happened this week. I was like, "It means you're racist against Jewish people." She was like, "Oh, I've heard that before, but I never really knew what it meant." Yeah.
Yeah, no, you ask. You ask and you learn something.
Oh, the world is weird right now.
Yeah. It should be stated that we at SCP Weekly, while we are very much pro-Palestinian, we do not promote anti-Semitism in any shape or form. If you are, go fuck yourself. Anyway.
I read ahead and I'm very upset.
Yeah. Site staff member and prominent SCP author, Fish to the 12th, has been demoted due to a pattern of excessively hostile, rude, aggressive, and in one case, ace-phobic on the SCP Discord server. Fish to the 12th responded on the staff thread in question by saying, quote, "I tire of this farce. I hereby resign from crit staff and seminars until such a time comes where it's decided I can come back in good standing. I will let the powers that be decide the parameters of when that is supposed to occur." Though some staff members recused themselves, those who voted on the matter were unanimous in supporting the demotion, and it seems unlikely that Fish to the 12th will be able to, quote, "come back in good standing" anytime soon.
I suck, but when you decide I don't suck, I'll consider coming back, and I'll still suck.
You know what's funny
What the
about
fuck?
that? It is that when we reported, and it was me that read it, and I think it was just a slip of reading two different fish names in the same article. But when Fishish got whatever happened to them about 8 months ago, I actually read that it was Fish to the 12th, and it was for almost this exact, not situation, but rude vehemence towards somebody else. So I said all that to say, are we sure this isn't Fishish?
If we've learned anything today, we've learned fish can be hateful.
Yeah, oh my god. If we said
creatures.
the wrong thing, you guys just tell us and we'll send a fruit basket and apologize.
We will absolutely not be upset. We will be understanding if we are upset if it's the different fish. But
I trust Hawk. I trust Hawk though.
yes,
Yeah.
I
Either way,
just
fish
cannot.
are spiteful motherfuckers.
All fish back
damn.
into the sea.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Fuck.
Sorry to interrupt. I just thought that was
Before we started with Nolan, I was going to say, hooray, no Nazis this time. What?
Yeah.
Close. No cigar.
Too soon.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet, sweet AI. Woo! Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Palate cleanser.
All right. Since our last Blotter segment, 25 users have been disciplined or warned for posting AI-generated content.
There we go.
Highlights include users Dr. Dino Frost, whose page apparently used their prompt as title, and Radier, whose page initially began with the AI's reply to the request to generate an article. Come on, man. You gotta at least try to make it seem like you're not doing it.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, I think, what was it, 20 new users a day are joining the site, or 20, it's 20 a day or 20
It
a
was
week, I
so
can't
hard
remember.
for
It's
me
a
to
lot.
get approved to an account. I thought it was hard to get approved to an account.
It is, and something
Are they
along
just
the lines
mass
of
approving?
I will not use AI is part of joining the site. Like,
Like, it was so difficult to get an account, to make it in the first place, and then to actually wait to be approved. I don't understand how so many thousand, like that one guy had 12 sock puppet accounts. It must not be that difficult, and they just took a while to get to me because there's 17,000 requests, and they just mass approve.
We're gonna have Gears on, and he's gonna be like, "Yeah, back in my day, we didn't have these.
We didn't have pesky AI. What's a sock bucket?
Googly moogly."
Back in my day, we didn't have this skibbity Ohio whiz that the youngins are talking about.
We had to walk uphill both ways in the snow to post an article.
Back in the 4chan days. What's going on with new skips and tails these last 2 weeks?
Since the last episode, there are 22 new SCP articles and 20 new tales. That's a bunch.
I think I may have just found my new D&D character voice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Any favorites?
Yeah, let's go.
I have...
Nolan has words. Nolan has words.
I have 3 that stood out for me this week. The first one is SCP-6679, a very girly holiday movie by Miss Lapis. And this one, it's a short article, but it surrounds the GOI of just girly things. And this one, it doesn't, on the surface, it doesn't really seem like it's much. It's really just like a movie that they seem to have made and released, which is like a generic ass fucking Hallmark Christmas movie of like, about a wealthy and successful businesswoman, you know, being in a, you know, small town and then having a romance and realizing, hey, you know, being very successful and having money and having a purpose all on my own, you know, that doesn't matter. What matters is, you know, being married and just shitting out children from my front butt. And any woman who watches it immediately decides, I want that, quits their job, and basically goes off to like find their true love or whatever. And originally you would think, okay, don't let anybody watch it and that would be it. However, at the beginning of the article, a leading researcher recommends, hey, this lead researcher, you know, I think should be head of this project for the anomaly's containment because, you know, she's had a very good track record. She could be very responsible with it. Pretty much tricks her into watching the movie, so she quits her job at the Foundation and basically ran off and nobody could find her. And that ends with saying like, well, it's very, and basically, she was supposed to be promoted to the head of the Memetics division. But because she's coincidentally gone, now this guy who recommended her is now the new head since he was next in line. And he basically is like giving a speech that is saying like, you know, it's very sad that she's not here. And while we could, you know, blame the anomaly for, you know, affecting her mind and, you know, making the Foundation lose one of its most brightest assets, you know, she should have known better. You know, he's being very misogynistic about it, clearly. And it's very fucked up. And you can very much hate that asshole for what he's done. But yeah, the next one is SCP-935, Nothing Bad Ever Happens to the Bows by Bihan, Comrade Waldo, and an anonymous writer. Essentially, this was a sort of like remake of the original 935, and essentially, the anomaly is sort of like this deck of playing cards that specifically surrounds the Bow family, where every generation, one of them whenever they reach a certain age, they have to, I guess, try to break this curse, whatever that's going on in their family. But each one just isn't able to, and they just kind of disappear, and it's hinted that their souls are kind of like trapped within the cards now. And it shows like letters from like generations back, from like over 200 years, of basically saying like, oh, I'm gonna do it this way, doesn't work, ensures that their children will now have to bear the curse. And really, it's entirely a story about cyclical violence and generational legacies, where eventually they need to learn that trying to go forward with this of like going headlong, saying like, no, I'm not in the wrong, my family's not in the wrong, and we're gonna fight back against this, the violence, it's not gonna work. It's never gonna work. You're just trapping yourself and your loved ones in that same cycle. And it's a story of, can this family actually break that cycle and free their future generations from it? And if anyone is familiar with the bow, that's named Bow, some might remember one character of General Bow, who was a significant player in SCP-002, The Living Room, where he basically kind of may or may not exterminated an entire village in Portugal when containing SCP-002. So, not a very good guy. And the last one I have is SCP-8963, Inside Job by Apto Crater. And the only way I can describe it is the Foundation tries to stop 9/11. There's a lot more to it, where essentially the anomaly is like this sort of it's like the sort of like figurine of like the Twin Towers with a sort of like plaque on it, and every so often it brings someone from the past, just makes them appear. They're there for a certain amount of time and they just disappear. And apparently the anomaly, what the Foundation gathers, is that it wants them to stop 9/11. And so they basically try to give each person information and saying like, hey, this is going to happen on this time, here's what you need to do. But the thing is, if they actually directly tell this person about 9/11, the person immediately vanishes and goes back to their original time. So they have to find their way to kind of go around it. And one of the people that comes back is Ronald Reagan. You can imagine how well that turns out.
I will reach through this monitor and give him 1,000 cuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also SCP Weekly's official position of fuck Ronald Reagan.
In particular.
Piss on his grave.
Yeah.
Piss on his grave.
Yeah. We should build, was it a McDonald's? We should just do that at all the mass murders fucking grave sites and just enjoy hamburgers.
Tell us in the comments, do you want to build a McDonald's over Ronald Reagan's grave?
What a callback. I love it.
Love it, yeah.
And if not, what other fast food joint do you want to build on top of his grave? Because it's happening. We're not going back on it.
No, that's it. It's done. We just got to figure out which one. Oh, maybe a Carvel.
Hey, Nolan, did you read the content warning on 6679? Because I did.
No. I forgot.
No, what is it?
I just wanted to say that out loud. Go back and look at it later.
Let me look at it right now.
I'm looking it up too. What? Nope.
I'm just gonna read it out for the listeners. Content warning. This article contains themes of misogyny and deals with just girly things. Reader discretion is advised. This work depicts a man behaving negatively. For examples of positive male representation, refer to other works on the SCP Wiki.
Well played, lady. Well played.
That's absolutely brilliant. Are you telling me I might have been missing content warning like that all these years? I've never clicked on one of those before.
You want to take us into the Rick?
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, we'll have the links to these articles in the show notes.
Go read that one. That one actually is a very. I read it while you were talking. That is a brilliant fucking article.
Nice.
Oh,
brilliant fucking article.
Yeah,
There's one line down there toward the end in the letter that the replacement researcher put in there that I was like, that actually might have served better if that wasn't there. But that's a brilliantly written article. Because I know I've had those thoughts myself, like, oh my god, who can even watch this fucking bullshit?
Anyway, let's take a break and we'll be back with off-site news and Dr. Gears.
Dr. Gray, what are you doing here?
Intern, I thought no one came to this closet. So this is where I go to read my real crazy fan fiction. And what's that you're reading?
It's, well, you're not dangerous, so I guess I can tell you. This is Confinement. It's a comic series. It's about a guy named Connor who responds when he dies.
Really? That just sounds like a whole lot of bung to me.
It's absolutely not. It's actually really good, but I've been keeping it a secret for now. I don't want Dr. Bucket to get any ideas on dangerous tests he can make me do. Connor can afford to die, but not me.
Wow, that sounds excitingly veil-breaking. Do you know where I can get one?
Thanks for asking, Monica. All you need to do is look up SCP Confinement Kickstarter, and the pre-order page should be the first result. And even if you can't get in on the pre-orders, the comic will be for sale on the unredacted Etsy store after the Kickstarter ends.
Awesome. I'm already so excited to get mine. Oh, maybe I can show them to Grim.
Between 7 to 9% of people are estimated to fear deep water. Even for those without full-fledged thalassophobia, oceans and rivers and lakes can easily become a source of terror. But water is everywhere. In the plumbing of your homes, in what you eat and drink, inside your own body. Water falls from the sky and runs beneath the ground. You can't run from it. You can't hide from it. Water will seep through the cracks and into the walls and make itself a part of the very air you breathe. That 9% is right. Water is to be feared, and you can never escape from it. Waterlogged is a short-form horror anthology podcast highlighting the underutilized forms of water. Instead of rivers and oceans, we focus on plumbing, puddles, mist, and more. Created by Daisy McNamara and produced by Law of Names Media and Sublitoral Sounds.
Thanks to our sponsor, Dado Personal Hamster Pills. Sometimes Dado make big mistake. Yes, and on accident provide customer with personal hamster pill. Yes, very embarrassing. Dado will not make same mistake again. If you like this content, then hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications for the channel. If you're watching on YouTube, that's what the algorithm likes, and it would really help us get the word out about what's going on in the SCP community. If you want to support us beyond that, you can sponsor the show at patreon.com/scpweekly for as little as $2 a month.
And now, in offsite news. Wiki author Sailor Enoch has created an SCP-076 Able plushie. They have the design for SCP-073 Kane ready as well, and will release more once they receive 100 orders for 076. You can buy your own plushie through their Ko-Fi. The link is in the show notes.
Did you see its butt?
Yeah, Able comes with a little tramp stamp.
Got a little booty.
I love it. I love it. I want both of them. But I'm also a little worried that if I buy Abel, I will never get a cane, and then I'll just have Abel sitting around forever, and I'll be angry about it.
You'll just have Abel with this little tramp stamp staring at you.
Bryant forever. The YouTube channel GMDBlue has recently made a video that goes through and explains all 54 proposals for the SCP-001 slot. Yes, you heard that right. All of them. The video is 4 hours long and gives a fairly in-depth breakdown of each story. The link is in the show notes. Very long. It's a lot.
Did you watch that, Nolan?
I did.
You did? Is
All
it pretty
4
comprehensive?
hours?
Yeah, it's long.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How else do you think I spend my time?
Being beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just glad that Davy Fool's proposals get covered, because those are great, and they don't get covered enough. Except when they get covered by content farms and get severely fucked over.
Our favorite.
Yeah. Site 42 is releasing, for all you theater kids in the audience, Site 42 is releasing footage from their trip to Reforged, the Church of the Broken God themed immersive theater experience. Sherm, Toad King, and Radiger attended 2 showings of the experience, which they filmed for our viewing pleasure. Those videos are available on Site 42's YouTube channel through the link in the show notes. And remind me to put, when I script that episode, we need to talk to Radiger about that experience. She's on the show next month.
Ooh.
Yes, please.
Speaking of Radiger,
Yeah.
it's another thing to talk to her about.
Oh, yeah. Hymns for the Road is finally here. For those unaware, this brand new podcast was written, directed, and produced by Anna McGuire, aka Radiger, and is currently on its 2nd episode. The series follows 4 survivors of a magical apocalypse embarking on a road trip through the fantasy wasteland that was once America. Filled with mischievous and often malicious otherworldly creatures, strange and esoteric survival rules, and impossible, dreamlike landscapes, the world has become both indescribably beautiful and ruthlessly, indiscriminately deadly. New episodes release every Friday. Link to their YouTube and Spotify is in the show notes.
Very Wanderer's Library.
Yeah.
We love those around here.
And I gave Gears the 5-minute warning, so we're...
So, you know how you're doing D&D and how you're like, this is the kind of shit I would have done as a child?
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to read young adult books when I was younger. My mother thought they were bullshit. This is why I grew up reading things like Stephen King and Dean Koontz and other Danielle Steele if I didn't want to read horror. Like, I read adult authors. So in my 20s, I discovered I forget what books I was reading. Like, I would sneak in the Scholastic Fair and the library.
Yeah.
I would sneak young adult books. Like, so R.L. Stine. R.L. Stine had a teenager, and I was allowed to have Goosebumps because I had 2 younger siblings who did not have to live the way I lived. But I would sneak Fear Street when I was at the library. Books like Animorphs were not allowed for me to have, and then when my brother got older,
it was too young for you?
No, it was my age, and then as I got, that's what age I was in, that's what I'm saying. I was 10, 11, 12, 13, and these were books for 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
My mother did.
Animorphs could get kind of fucked up.
Yeah,
If you actually read
kinda
the books.
Yeah.
They were fucked up, but that was the biggest. Goosebumps, Fear Street, Animorphs, those were big books for our age range when they came out.
I can kind of empathize there because, I brought home from the school library, and I think I was in 3rd grade, maybe 4th grade. Do you remember those little what the fuck is that?
What did you just do, Chelsea? What did you fucking?
Childhood memory unlocked.
What fucking happened?
What the fuck?
Fucking fireworks for no reason is
Do you
great.
remember the optical illusion books that you could get in the, you look and it would right? I got yelled at for that. I got yelled at for bringing that home because it wasn't a book, like a book to read.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to be reading books. And yeah, I get it.
Growing up, my mother didn't like fantasy. You know what movies I've never seen? I've never seen The Labyrinth. I've never seen, Willow. I was lucky I got away with Neverending Story. My mother happened to really like it. But I didn't grow up with those. So as I was sneaking these books, and then I happened to read Twilight, and I'm like, this is just little girl fluff. This is dumb shit. I could give you some shitty fucking books that are still amazing somehow. That is shitty ass writing, but I really love what this story is, and I can't put 12 books down, no matter how shitty it is. God, it's so shitty. It's the shittiest thing that has ever been shitted out of somebody's fucking fingertips. But I love it. However...
Here's Gears.
Yes.
Oh.
Ooh.
There we go.
Hey,
he's in.
There it is.
Yo, Kelsey.
Told you.
Hello. Don't mind us.
Cassie's got a voice thing and it's happening right now.
I love distinct voices. And he's like, oh, you guys don't know what Dr. Gears sounds like. Like, no, am I going to enjoy this? He's like, I think you will enjoy this. I say strange voices, but it sounds...
You didn't say strange.
No, that's usually how I phrase it. I like strange voices, and people are
I'm a strange person, so that should work beautifully.
Yes.
I think.
That's how I met Kelsey. I was like, wow, your voice is odd. So are you.
You would get along with my wife. She's the type to go up to people. Never met these big dudes. I love your tattoo. It's so cool. That's how she is.
Yeah. No, see, big dudes, my favorite thing, honestly, because I'm not the kind of person just to, walk up to somebody and
big
be
dude
dopey.
with a chihuahua.
No, big dudes, I'm like, you are so tall.
Yeah.
There you go.
If don't be tall near me, because I will be amazed. And I'm not that short. I just love that shit. Your voice. Wow, I love your voice.
Legit advice to the young dudes out there who may be experiencing a little bit of not being lucky in their
little bit of a
interpersonal
drought.
Interests. Yeah, work on the voice game.
Yeah,
work on the voice game. Holy shit.
Being in this room with voices like you three, I'm a very happy person. No.
I will say, I do attribute.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Pack a day for 20 years.
Yep.
Can't argue with results. I don't know. Anyway.
No.
We're not saying give yourself lung cancer. We're just saying it'll help you in the voice acting game, okay?
There's a thing that happens on the voice game when you F up your vocal cords. That's all I'm saying.
Nolan just naturally sounds this amazing, so he can be our safe. What do they do when they do testing? There's always one that is completely unaltered. Thank you. Nolan's our control.
There we go.
Somehow. Nolan's the control.
Okay.
Control.
So we'll do the control. That's what your next D&D character should be called, Nolan. The control.
The control.
No name, just the control.
Long cloak, shadowed face. The control.
Yo, we were talking about. Was it Sarkic? A Sarkic character? That would be a great name for a Sarkic character.
Yeah, so Gears. Earlier, we were talking.
Here we go.
Sorry.
No. That's fine.
Yeah, why not let this be our first conversation,
This is why we're late.
Cassie?
Not because we were late, but because we started talking about D&D.
Ultimately.
Yeah. Okay, Gears. For context,
Yeah.
earlier, before we actually started the recording for the episode, we were discussing, and I was talking about how I had an idea to make the Grand Karcist Ion as a D&D character by
Warlock.
way of making him an aberrant mind sorcerer.
Dude.
Because I felt like That and I talk to Metaphysician all the time about the lore, his personal headcanon that he has for it, and I thought, oh wow, this fits it perfectly. Like that would be fucking amazing to play that.
That'd be very interesting. I'm sorry, a brief aside. I think I've DM'd, I've played D&D, I've done a bunch of stuff, and I had a character in my in a party that I was DMing once that spawned from the idea of like the Lich and such. And one of the things, they don't go into a lot of details as to what does the thing. And one of the things that went through is there's a ritual and potion and such. And it's like, what if it wasn't the person being Lich? Like, what if you weren't doing the dark bargain stuff? Someone was doing it to you. Would you still turn into a psychopathic evil bastard? And it's like,
I like it.
Maybe. So we had this kind of demi-lit, basically just straight up like provincial face-painted wood elf who got by a dark sorcerer, and it's like, I wonder if I can turn you into a Lich. No, I don't need your approval.
I love it. I like it.
It was like, it was very neat. I like running weird, stuff like that, and it's weird. I like running like really, really, really out there stuff, and then just like straight up thief, fighter, rogue go in the dungeon. One end or the other. Anyway, I'm sorry, but no, that
no.
That was our fault.
Cassie is bewitched right now.
Oh no!
I'm into it. I'm like, yes,
entranced.
This is great. I don't get to talk
just
about
the sound
D&D
of your
with many
voice has
people.
been Cassie an awakening.
It's the D&D. So honestly, you said, would you still turn into an evil bastard? And I had to forcefully bite my tongue from saying, wow, you really got my gears turning.
Oh no!
So most of that was me
it really grinds her gears.
Most of that was me trying to. What else can I say besides the word gears? Because that's the only thing coming to mind.
There it is.
And I've got baby D&D-er Kelsey here. I got Nolan, who's getting into some pretty big games, and I'm like, hooray, D&D people! This is great.
It's I'm sort of down the I didn't get into it really when I was in high school or things like that, because I was an awkward, very tall kid, and so I had issues. And so like the idea of like sitting down to playing D&D and stuff was really not like, I didn't dare. And then now that I'm old and don't give a shit, it's like, let's fucking do it.
Yeah, this has been a recurring theme for this, even before you got here. Us talking about things that we didn't or couldn't do when we were younger, and now that we're adults, we're like, fuck it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Amusingly, as an amusing aside, again, an aside from the aside, one of the things my wife has been getting into recently is various arts and crafts stuff, and the most recent one is resin.
Yes.
Things, messing around with resin. She just made, because I got a silicone mold kit to make, I sculpt, and I'm trying to get into doing miniatures and such, and that's a process, but she wasn't very happy with her dice molds, and it's like, why don't you use my kit and I'll do that. So she just casted a dice mold.
Nice.
And I said, why don't you go, pour it in? So she goes, I have to put it upstairs. I don't want you to have to deal with like the curing resin smell. I'm like, I don't care. I've worked places. where they're like, there's chlorine around. Yeah, there's chlorine. Just, if you smell it, leave. It's fine. It's like, should I have a mask or something? Probably. See,
I just got to mess with Bondo for the first time a couple of weeks ago. Good.
No.
It's when you're messing with something and you have that moment of, I should be wearing a mask.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be touching.
You should open a window.
Well, it's probably fine.
I feel great.
I should not have my head shoved into a paper grocery
I wasn't feeling this good when I got here, but all right.
It's when you have that thought, and then right behind it is, it's probably fine. It's probly fine.
It's okay. I'm going to have a sit down for a minute.
I'm going to sit down.
I'm going to sit down.
Gonna step out. I'm going to take a few deep breaths. Just going to get it cleared out.
Yeah.
A little better. Yeah, it turns out you mix vinegar and bleach. Don't do that. It doesn't clean better.
Cleans your sinuses.
Hey, it cleans something. Like
Clean fucking something, all right.
It might be a war crime.
Sitting there running the carpet sweeper and stuff. It's like, yeah, there was bleach in this. That's what I should probably stop. I should stop.
I should put this down. Step away quickly.
I'm just gonna. What's going on? I'm gonna. Well, we gotta clean that. Just a little bit.
Let's go over kind of we'll start with the icebreaker.
Pull the segue lever.
Well, we'll sit here for 4 hours with guests if they let us. You're the one that has shit to do.
We'll go through the truth and lie.
Yeah.
Shit, do we have Dino draws his answers?
Was it the... Oh.
Fuck, I forgot to ask them.
Shoot that off real quick while I go through this.
That was a resounding maybe.
You had one job.
We'll do the factor myth, and then we'll jump into the interview. We'll have some... I'm definitely probably spend about as much time as we have talking about D&D after the interview questions, and then that'll be a wrap.
We just get through the interview really fast because we've got other shit to talk about.
Just yes, no answers.
We can't do
How are
that.
you today? Thank you. Thanks for coming.
They're here to hear Dr. Gears talk about SCP.
No.
I think.
I mean,
I don't know. All three of them.
We kind of are too. Yes.
Technically speaking.
I am curious about a lot of things, and I think I captured a lot of that in the interview questions. So
awesome. Have at it.
One of these questions reminded me of a thing. Nice, Nolan. Nolan, I finished tape 3. Cane Pixels 3.
Oh, right.
I didn't like it as much as the first two.
No, but I liked it a lot.
It was fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I think he's playing with narrative too much. I think a lot of the Backrooms profits on the fact that it is just like the thing, liminal space, scribble monster. It kind of does what it does, and I get it. It's a thing.
I like that there was no monster that we had to see. We didn't see a monster on the camera. We just kind of fucking heard some things on occasion. I did like the door knocking. That should freak me the fuck out. I don't like that kind of stuff.
That was neat.
But I would like to see more of not SCP Foundation, their foundation, Astrum. What were they called?
Async.
Thank you. I would like to see more about their shit and things like that.
Because they had some supplemental material stuff that he's done with that.
But it had been 2 years, so I'm just happy to see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that it's hinting that Async's fuckery with
making it worse.
They're making it worse because the whole thing of in this video of seeing it in, it wasn't just another no clip through reality enter the back rooms. No, his basement just became an entrance to the back rooms.
Yeah, it's
it's bleeding in to ours.
It's getting worse. That was
Async's.
I like it a lot.
And as a brief aside, again, I'm going to do a lot of these, but just briefly. Analog horror as a whole.
I love analog horror so much.
I think it's really cool from a lot of stances. I was born in '83, so it's kind of a little nostalgic stuff. But I think one of the fun bits of that is that the particular brand of kind of grainy, beat up analog horror sort of, stuccos and caulks over a lot of the cracks and fissures of 3D and AI art, where things are a little it kind of hits an uncanny. You can kind of just static it and lo-fi it down, and it seeing some of Cane Pixel stuff. The fact that it's CGI and it's
the first couple I didn't know.
Absolutely baffling.
I had no fucking idea. I don't understand.
Yeah,
I had to remember. I had to remember for this. Yeah, no, he's a child. He's what?
He's a baby.
A baby did that. This is fucking yelling about Rounder House. He's a child. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? He's an absolute child.
Just holding him up. He's a baby.
He's a baby. Look at the baby.
Anyway, but I think it's very, very cool because again, it lets you get around. It lets people like one or two dudes, make full productions and such, and the lo-fi quality of it kind of helps gloss things over, makes it a little bit more palatable. The sugar on the spoon.
We would have watched that first one years ago as CGI, and we would have gone, okay, this is CGI, really cool. He made this on his computer, and most of us went, excuse me, what? Because of the analog aspect to it, really
kind of glossed things over.
Gave us. I had to remember that was a thing while watching this one.
Yeah.
I don't know how far into this one I was before I went, oh, that's fucking right. This is computered.
Yeah, this is CGI.
This is not. It took me most of the episode to remember that was his thing. That this wasn't some dude just like some people walking through
it's hilarious though that the actors
stage.
are obviously just like people he knows. It's like, hey, do you
wanna
want to get a pizza? We're gonna You just come and stand there and look confused for like 30 seconds. It's like, dude, I can get paid for that.
Yeah,
I do that for free.
Yeah. And now he's working with A24 to make a movie.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. He's doing a thing.
That's how it goes.
Cool. So fucking cool.
I hope all that goes well. I hope so. I'm very hopeful, but it's almost, some obscure niche thing going mainstream. That always goes well.
Yeah. Hey, anything to get the right attention from the right people. If you can, that's where we are right now.
Yeah, ultimately, it's kind of where it is and such, but it's like
in the pre-production stages of an SCP short film. I'm reaching out to realtor friends of mine, like, hey, you wanna do this weird thing?
If you're looking for interesting decrepit properties, Michigan exists. That's pretty much what we have. You can buy, if you're willing to go to the UP, you can buy an abandoned iron mine for the price of a VCR.
Nice.
So, just saying.
Definitely find things to shoot in an abandoned mine.
It's mental. I remember when I was a kid, we used to vacation up there, and there was these big struts. It's just like dinosaur looking stuff up in the hills. And there was a part where you could go over the road and it had this pebbles. It looked like pebbles, and there were little pellets of iron ore just covering the tracks because of it come off the cars going up and down from the smelters. And every time I went out there, I'd have to stop. I'd just wail, and I had to stop. And I get just like a handful of iron pellets, and
take it back.
That was the thing.
Oh, shiny rocks!
They weren't even shiny. Just had to get them. Had to get them.
I've been living out in the fucking sticks in Missouri for a while, and there were mines near where we were. There were mines there, so every once in a while you would find, I think it was called slag. It's like this green glass runoff.
No.
I couldn't leave.
No, you got to
leave it where I found it. I needed it.
You got to get it.
Or going to because it was on the Merrimack River, going to the river and finding a rock with geodes on it. Can't leave that there. That's precious.
Stones,
that's precious material. I need it.
Absolutely.
I need it.
Absolutely. All right, back to this.
Did you hear back from Dino?
I have not gotten a message back from Dino.
Oh no!
I don't know when they're going to tell us.
We can roll through, make our guesses. We can do Gears' factor myth, and if we've heard back from Dino by then, we've heard back from Dino by then.
Yeah,
if not, then no.
If not, then
we'll let Twitter
we can
know.
just put it out on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Kelsey, make the introduction.
Here's our guest, Dr. Gears.
Wait, we're all the way back there? Oh, man.
We haven't even introduced you yet.
We'll just roll with it.
We're all the way back there?
We just spend a fucking half hour talking, and it's like, oh shit, we actually got to start the interview.
Waking up in someone else's bed. Hi, who are you?
Fucking Coyote Ugly our way out of this.
Talking to by now.
Skip sets. Anyway.
Yeah.
Do it up.
Guess we have to get married now. Oh dear.
Oh well.
Oh darn. All right.
Anyway,
what are you sleepy for? Wake up.
Hey, it's fucking 10 o'clock.
Young
where I
people
am,
need to
okay?
4 kids, bro.
Young people need to. You've got kids.
Well-
Young people need to sleep more than the rest of us.
Yeah, you don't
I
you
need-
start with that, you whippersnapper.
Chelsea, that's that voice you were using earlier when you were poking fun at Dr. Gears.
It is.
That is the exact fucking voice you used.
Back in my day, we didn't have these AI things, and
Now take your over my knee.
Oh, this is a great idea.
This is gonna
amazing.
be sick. Introduction.
Holy shit.
Introduction.
That-
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
whoa,
Tell the class
Hello.
about yourself.
Well,
Hi, Dr.
I write
Gears.
scary things and I eat too much cheese.
Hey!
and I don't poop enough.
I'm Dr. Gears, and I'm a cheeseaholic. Hi, Dr.
That's
Gears.
a problem. Hi. That's a big meeting. That is not a small. That's
It's
Renton
most
Hall.
of the
That's not an
Northern
AA meeting.
Seaboard.
That's a convention. That's a
Can we
convention.
have it?
You
Can we
to
have
go
a
over to
cheese
Wisconsin
con?
for that one.
Can we have cheese con where everybody has to write an SCP story about cheese?
Oh. Well, April Fool's
I mean,
is sewn up.
what-
Right? April
That's
Fools would be
there.
I
great
know
for
that
that
there's-
shit.
Every SCP becomes cheese related.
I
Rewrite
briefly
your favorite
entertained.
story to
I
be
briefly
cheese.
entertained an addiction to cheese as a vice for my D&D character.
Oh,
Yes.
What?
I
One of my-
briefly entertained it.
one of my favorite O1s is the Gate Guardian, but now it's just a wheel of fucking cheese.
This is a wheel of fucking cheese, man.
I mean, there.
Be
I mean,
not
to
afraid.
It'd be doable.
I mean,
it'd be
I mean-
doable.
this just fucking
The
reminded
old man,
me
but
of.
melty cheese.
No, this
It's not-
fucking reminded me of Milk Jesus.
Oh no!
This is not
That counts.
non-viable.
No,
This is
no,
not
it's
viable.
not. This is. I can't.
Later
my
on,
brain.
once we get past the introduction,
My
assuming we
brain.
get there, ask me about puffer kittens. If you ever get a chance.
Why does it sound familiar? Couldn't possibly.
I don't
but-
know if it's still sort of a thing. I think it might be, but
Oh
Anyway,
my
Just
god.
drifting through life looking for my
Just-
cheese, mommy.
Anyway,
okay.
next up on the script.
I had to look up puffer kittens real quick, but go on.
Okay. Before we start off the actual interview, we're gonna break the ice with a game of Fact or Myth. Last week we had Dino draws, and these were her responses. 1, I have been over 200 feet below the earth. Or 2, I have tried crocodile meat before.
Oh, I think they were under the earth.
100%.
I think they're
Gotta
under
be
the
that.
earth. I mean, who hasn't tried crocodile meat?
I'm going to go with crocodile
Boring.
meat as the tree.
No, I think we've been under the earth. I mean, I want to be under the earth. I hope they have been, but I think it's earth.
I mean, technically,
I mean, to be-
it's
Yeah, to be fair, we're all going to
Eventually.
be under the earth one day.
Yeah, but 200
That was-
feet. It's a lot of feet.
no. I mean,
This is
sometimes
as
they want to
below.
make sure you
This
don't
is
come back around.
as above, so below type of shit right here. I'm into it.
Kaz, you're going with under?
Under. Yes.
All right.
Under
We'll
pants,
find out
under
at some
earth.
point. Is this wait? Was Dino the one who told us, or was that Trout?
Trout.
That was
Trout.
Trout? Okay.
Trout blew it.
Trout told us.
Trout and Maxwell.
Yeah.
But I
both
think
blew it. It's
so
great.
just and my reasoning for thinking it's 200 feet below the earth is because Dino is a geology major.
No, they've been
That
in a
makes
cave.
sense.
They've been in caves.
Come-
They've done things.
Well, I guess I'm wrong. But
200 feet.
I
Yeah,
didn't
that's-
know that.
I'm married. I'm often wrong. It
Yeah.
doesn't faze me no more.
200 feet. Those are
Gears
moving
often
numbers
wrong is what we call
for a
him.
geology major. Oh, now it's Gears' turn. Let's hear him. You got. I've got them written down here if you need to be reminded.
What's up? Okay. Go ahead and read them off because I think I remember, but I don't remember exactly what I said.
One of them was owls and one of them was ghosts.
Okay. To these statements, such as they are, it was I have been attacked by 2 owls, and I have lived in haunted houses and seen paranormal phenomenon.
Owls. I think
Yeah,
owls
I'm
have it
gonna go
in
with
for you.
owls.
I think it's owls.
Yeah, it's nothing against you. It's just you just seem like the kind of person that owls generally fucking hate for some reason. Hey, it's nothing personal with me.
Man, I'm not an owl, and man, do I want to fucking...
It's nothing personal with me. I'm just saying.
What quantity? What quality?
That's what I was gonna say, Nolan. I was gonna say the exact same thing. You look like somebody owls would love to hate.
The owls are circling. Fuck you, Carl. Fuck you, Carl.
Listen
here.
Listen here, you little shit. Listen.
Look, it's just the vibe you give off, okay?
It is though. I agree, because normally I would be with the ghosts.
What is this horrible
However,
atrocity against owls that you've committed?
It's the vibe. It's the aura, as the youngins call it.
I haven't written anything in a minute. Let me take notes. The man owls hate.
Yeah.
It'll probably be okay. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, and look, Gears, if it makes you feel any better, you can make it me that the owls attack, okay? Just get that aggression out.
Just
get that frustration. Yeah.
The person.
Yeah, just get your revenge on me through a literary medium.
I'm gonna actually go with ghosts on this because outside of the owl fucker vibe,
Why are you?
Whoa! That seems like it would be going the other way.
Yeah, I'm just trying to summarize put into words what Nolan
at the moment, not for owls anyway.
You seem like a skeptical person. Like you seem like a well thought out and not believing in paranormal.
He thinks you're smart.
So I have you. So. God love you. God love you. It's working.
Bless your little heart, Kelsey. Kelsey says ghosts. Nolan, are you going with owls with me? Are we in for the owls?
Yeah, I'm going with owls.
Hoot hoot, motherfucker.
Yeah, see? That's exactly what happened each time.
There it is.
Hoot hoot, motherfucker.
And then what we'll do, just at the end of this, before everybody signs out, just tell us the answer then. So that
Absolutely.
Don't
tell us.
My mistake.
And don't tell us now, like fucking Dr. Maxwell and Trout Mask Replica.
Obligatory. Dr. Maxwell was so fucking drunk.
If I can insert Dr. Maxwell into every show, I will, because that was hilarious.
To be fair to Maxwell, he was drunk off his ass the entire time of that episode.
It was so fun. I love him.
He will never, ever. The only thing Maxwell can do to live that down is a face reveal, I think, at this point. The only thing.
That's it.
Maxwell will do a face reveal at 100,000 subscribers. Go over and subscribe to his channel so he can live this thing down, please.
Never.
Please.
Never happened, and we never will let it go.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, we're going to post this on social media where our listeners can vote on which one they think is the true fact. We will give the answer next week, and hopefully Dino will give me their answer before this episode is over.
Or we may never find out that whether or not a geology major has been 200 feet under the earth. We might never
bad.
Maybe they're bad at being a geologist.
Yeah.
Maybe
they went to space instead.
Maybe they're like a geology management major, and they'll never just. I run everything, but I've never actually been in the mine. I just
translate between the engineers and corporate. I don't know what's happening.
I manage projects. I don't actually do the work.
Yeah. Anyway, now we transition into the actual interview portion.
Wait, that's not what this has been? Oh, shit.
You are in the presence of three autistic motherfuckers running a podcast. This is regular.
Is ADHD, autistic ADHD? Yeah. We're terrible together.
By all autism combined, we can sort things very effectively and get frightened of the foe.
You get nothing done at the same time. Yep.
Okay.
Social anxiety.
There was all panic and no fucking disco.
Overthinking.
Executive dysfunction.
Movie quotes.
Our powers combined. We are Captain Tism.
Just some dude in a hoodie sitting on a couch. He's got like the metallic skin, just playing video games. What's up?
Captain Tism. He's our hero.
Gonna take production down to 0.
And copyright strike.
Oh, no, we've
It's
had
been
this talk.
real.
If they want to fucking copyright strike us, thank you, because that means somebody watched.
Yeah, what are they going to do? Demonetize us?
Notice
Thanks.
me, senpai.
Yeah, no.
Find the
Aren't you
time.
glad you accepted coming on to the show?
I'm
Yes.
delighted.
Yes, this is great. Thank you for being here.
This is significantly more sane than some other conversations I've had recently. So don't
no.
worry.
Nolan, if you don't start asking questions,
We'll
we're gonna
keep
derail
going
the
if you
energy.
don't stop
Yeah.
us,
Okay,
and
we
you know
got
this.
Okay, fine. Let's actually transition.
All right.
Yeah,
All
you're the one.
All right, let's go.
So,
Yeah.
all right. First interview question.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
How are you? How are the kids?
Well, it's part of why I did come on. We're not doing the absolute best, legitimately. I have 4 kids. The middle 2 have pretty severe autism. That's my son and daughter. Middle son, middle daughter. Or no, first son, second daughter. It's been a long day already. It's still early. But we've overall it's going pretty decently. It's an issue. I've done a lot of construction. I've fallen off a roof. I've been hit by a car. I've had a lot of stuff happen, and that does not do wonderful things for your spine. And sometimes I'll get up and I'll hurt a little bit. Some days I'll be walking to the kitchen doing absolutely nothing. It's like, and you can't walk now. Sorry. That's not a thing anymore. And there's ups and downs. The most recent was, again, we had a lot of stuff happen, kind of back to back. Earlier, this year, our dog of like 14, 15 years died, and that was very unpleasant. And not too long afterwards, my father-in-law, my wife's father, died. And that was a big thing. And there's all this stuff going on, and to a certain extent, you kind of roll with it. And like it's looking at it. I'm sorry, it's just looking at it. It's like a lot of bad shit happens. I don't know, and you just kind of learn to deal with it. And it's part of the reason why I don't like have social media or whatever, because I feel like I'm just whining the whole time. But anyway, so it was. My wife was going along, and the engine kind of started making funny noises. And after a while, it was like we couldn't do anything about it at the moment. And then it exploded. Yeah, not like figuratively. I mean, like shards of metal came out of the engine because it threw a rod.
Oh, wow.
One of the piston rods actually shattered through the engine, which is actually really, really cool in an academic sense, but really crummy otherwise. So she couldn't get to work, and we don't really have a lot of support structure or anything like that. My family's crazy. The landlord came by and was talking to my wife, and she was pretty busted up and seeing and kind of looking around and going, wow, it's, I guess I can make this and do this. And it's like, I got to try. And it's been really, really cool. It's been nice, with everyone's been very, 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 very nice, very, very outspoken and willing to help. One of the big ones is Son of a Breach, the team out of Son of a Breach. Put me in touch with you guys and some other people and really trying to help out. And I'm doing some voice work and some consulting work and such. They have some of my SCPs involved, so it's like, well, here's how that works. And but it's been really nice. And my hope is that doing this, we can kind of get out. And I want to do more. I want to be part of the community more and do stuff. Stuff happens and life happens and it's hard. But the SCP community's been in my life longer than my kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. just logistically, that's how it is. And I love this stuff, and I love being a part of it. And it's one of the more like kind of far-reaching things that I've done. And I just want to be a part of it more. And it's depression's a bitch, and it does make you kind of lose interest in things that you love, and that's one of the things that happened. But I've kind of gotten a little bit better with it, and so. We're in awful good shape for the shape that we're in a lot of ways.
Things could be better, but things could be worse.
Things could be a lot worse. Like my grandpa was very fond of saying, every day you look down at the flowers and not up, it's a good day.
Ha!
And sometimes that's what you got. But our hope is we can kind of get up and out of this and get moving a little bit forward. It's, we ain't got no car and rent's due, and we're in a tough spot, and we're working to try and fix it. But it's like there's X amount that can be done in X amount of time.
So let me just drop it in right here. If you guys want to help out Dr. Gears, the link to the fundraiser, the GoFundMe, is at the very top of the show notes. It's one of the first things that you'll see on all of our platforms. Just follow the link, and it'll take you right over to the fundraiser. And putting our money where our mouth is, I just dropped a donation in there from the show. So that came from SCP Weekly. And so thanks to our patrons for supporting the show, because your support for SCP Weekly goes to help people in the community like this.
Yeah, and bless you, man. Very, very honestly, we've already had a little bit of a response, and it's helped. We're not, I think the most, because everything's just kind of going to bills and food and stuff. I think the most recreational thing, I broke my deck chair. I had a nice kind of camp chair on the porch, and that broke a couple of weeks ago, kind of when all this really started kicking off, and I'm just like, fucking
that was the harbinger.
Just fell straight through it. That was to an extent. That was just like, okay, I got to figure something out, and I bought a new one, and it was like $20. And even then, I'm just like, I can't. This money was given to us, and I was like, buy the damn chair. Get the damn chair. But no, it sucks. It really sucks. It's, you kind of, I've been through some stuff. It's weird kind of looking back at it going, wow, that's messed up. That's, just looking back at stuff and going, wow, why am I not worse? Yep. And, you go through a lot of stuff. We have 2 kids with autism, and, they're in their teens now and pretty much nonverbal, and they're probably going to need help and support pretty much their whole lives. And, especially when they're young, there's a lot of what did I do? What went wrong and stuff. And you kind of, to an extent, it's just kind of getting past it. You just have to, it's like, this is how things are. Yeah. And sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. You kind of try to get from one to the other and try to make your way forward. That's really what we're trying to do. And I can't tell you enough how appreciative everyone is. I know my wife is rather shy, but definitely wants to, kind of say hi. I'm going to probably weasel her to say hi to people and stuff. She's very, very shy. But she makes fun sounds when she's afraid.
Love that shit. I love that for you.
Torturing your wife for your benefit. That's always great.
Yeah.
There's an official word for it. It's called marriage. That's the actual technical
that is not a unilateral torture either.
No.
It works both ways.
No, it does. It does.
Maybe we'll ask her how to make scary sounds.
Yeah, how do we make Dr. Gears squirm? Please tell us.
Oh God.
It's probably something simple like moist. There's a keyword.
No,
there.
if you want something that will universally make me giggle, my wife, when she gets very excited, I hope she's not. I'm checking the door. One sec.
Wife check.
When she gets when she's very amused, when she's legitimately laughing, when she giggles, it sounds like a guinea pig.
Oh no! Oh, I love it. I love it.
Awesome. It is the best. So we're kind of trying to move through it. It's kind of one of those up and down. We have good days and bad days. The landlord just came by a couple of days ago, and he's being very cool about stuff. He's being very, very cool about stuff. But it's like, what's going on, and it's nerve wracking. We have good days and bad days. My eldest daughter is in Japan right now, of all things. She's doing a semester abroad. She'll be back around Christmas.
Nice.
And she's adjusting. She actually just called us this morning, say hi to her baby brother, and kind of check in and such, because it's they're opposite. She's a time traveler, basically. It's our middle of the day is her middle of the night, and she when all this this was the lead up to her leaving. All this happened in the few weeks before she left, and it's just I was I'm so sorry. We'll do the best we can to make sure there's a house here when you come back. She's like, it's fine. Constantly trying to convince her to come on the wiki. She's of age. She's well of age, and technically she'd be the Black Queen, which is a neat idea. Gears' daughter and all that. And so I'm like, you got to do it. You got to do it. It's such a good gag. It's years in the making. She's like, I don't know.
We conceived you for this. God damn it! It's your only reason for existing.
There's a bitch. I have turned 2 of my children into SCPs.
Oh, I love
so far.
it so much.
I have turned 2 of my children. I can't remember the name of it. It was the baby that makes you rot, basically fall to pieces. The picture of that is my son when he was a baby.
Oh my god!
And then the original picture back on 4chan and briefly on the old wiki. Was a picture of my eldest daughter, who's in Japan right now, when she was tiny, on my shoulders in a Mickey Mouse hat.
Love it.
So
Your kids would be SCPs, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I'm still working on the other 2, but we'll figure it out. But no, it really sucks, and we have good days, we have bad days, and it kind of comes back and forth, and I hate reaching out to the community, because I've done it before. I did it, I had cancer. I did it when my wife had to have neck surgery. She's doing a lot better with that, by the by. They had to come in from the front. She's got a scar right down her throat, because that's where the buildup on her neck was. I had to scrape all that off. But she's doing a lot better from it. And it's still kind of a thing. And we kind of reached out then, and I'm reaching out now. And it's I can't keep doing this, but it's legitimately, and it sounds a bit cliche, and I swear we'll move on, but I don't have a lot of friends.
I volunteers tribute.
Yeah,
and okay,
Yeah,
we're
awesome.
We're friends now.
I'll throw
Sorry,
you.
that just happened.
There. I'm getting. No, I promise. I'm getting there. And then my mom's family, like I said, my father-in-law lives down in the Florida Panhandle, or did, and he had multiple sclerosis and didn't get around very good, and had a lot of trouble. And then her mom is, has issues and can't get around quite as much as she needs to and wants to, and so. Everybody kind of does what they can, but we don't have people say, "Oh, reach out for support." So it's where, we don't. It's not really a thing, and it's hard. It's a thing, and it's. I love the community. I love this stuff. Been a part of it, and I feel terrible that I've been kind of in and out of it.
Seems like you've had some shit going on.
You have a life. I mean,
yeah,
life is this is fun. It's a hobby. It's something you do professionally.
Yeah,
but
it's nice, but it's I'm sitting there, and it's a lot of times I feel like the old fella, sitting watching kids play t-ball and shit, and going, you know what, I could run. I know
Back
that
in my
was
day.
That was
I had to
cool.
walk uphill
Back
both
in my
ways
day.
in the snow to write an SCP article.
Back before I shit myself twice a year.
It's not an ideal
As is my
situation,
privilege.
but it's one we live in.
Just give me underwear for Christmas. That's all I need.
But no, that's been one of the most humbling things in all this. In the times where I have reached out to the community, I have gone, because it's one thing to have well wishes, another thing to kind of say hi and stuff. It's another thing to give up money, which is necessary regardless of the situation, to someone else because they asked. And it's like, I just invariably very, very nice and very, very open about stuff. And
that's one thing I've noticed about this community, though, and one thing I really love about it is that there's obviously some people who have trouble, and there's obviously some people who they're willing to share their bounty with others who aren't doing so well at the time. And knowing that could be any one of us on any given day, like it's life is fucking brutal, and it will fuck you up in a heartbeat without asking permission, without giving you any fucking warning. Like, hey, do you mind if I just fucking wipe everything out all in one day?
Is it cool?
No,
is it cool? You're not going to get that. There's 3 steps instead of 4, and now you're paralyzed because reasons.
Yeah,
but it's
stuff.
Because fuck you, that's why.
The ethos of the SCP ultimately, because fuck you, that's why. Yeah. And but it's been huge, and kind of speaking out, anybody, if you can do anything, $1, some just say hi, pray if you're the type, whatever, it would really help. It's been a rough time. We've had some good stuff. We've had some bad stuff. This sucks. And it's stuff we can get out of, stuff we can get up and over. But it's like right now, you go to the well and the well's dry. And we just need a little more to kind of get through. So anything anybody could do, please do so. I would greatly appreciate it. My family would greatly appreciate it. A very cute little redheaded boy who's entirely too energetic, who's having a birthday today, would appreciate it. So he's adorable. So, and
then there's things like him smiling and having fun at his birthday that make you. That's how you get through.
Yeah,
the
and
rest of the day.
that's one of the things is we're a family. We've had to sit down and go, it's not a question of if, can we do Christmas? Like, is that a thing that can be done this year? And occasionally it's been no. And it's like, we'll kind of push it around and do what we can, but it's just like, we've been in spots where it's just like, wow, if we're going to survive, there are levels of survival we have to choose. And so anything at all to help out would definitely help. I know with this whole process, I'm working with Son of a Breach to do some stuff with that, so that'll be neat. I know they're reaching out and doing some stuff. There's a lot of artists there. They're going to be doing some stuff to help drum up some support. And I was in the process of warming up to do streams and hangout stuff and like consultations and such over various things. And then my laptop started to die.
Once more with fucking feeling. Let's go.
Oh my God.
Christ.
Man who thought he lost all hope loses last additional bit of hope. RAM module started to fail on it. So now it's like I had it kind of jury-rigged so that it'll function, but it don't like being online.
Enjoy.
Like, yeah, it's great. Yeah, I have a very professional setup right now.
Yeah, we can barely see you. You look like you're analog horror filming right now. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's perfect. It's great on my
to
end.
me, you look like an analog horror monster.
That's awesome. Rawr. But no, I have it on a TV tray, and it's balanced on a couple of books. One of them, Ancient Greek.
Love it.
Ancient Greek philosophers. The other one was amusingly my old H.P. Lovecraft copy that I started reading because I was waiting too long to come in.
Love it.
So
great. You belong here.
If you were wondering. So very professional setup. This is actually my Gamer headset. I don't have any cat ears.
Oh man, do you ever though?
If I could, but
they make the little clips you can put on the top and give it ears. Yeah, they make just like if you go onto Etsy, you'll find some cute ones, and there won't be too much.
That's being invested.
Somebody with a 3D printer can help you out, I'm sure.
Anyway,
Again, the
There
link
it is.
to Dr. Gears' fundraiser is the first thing you'll see in the show notes, no matter what platform you're on. Give it a click, and if you can spare a buck or two, or 50, or 500, or 1,500, drop what you
We'll
can
take
in
it.
the bucket.
We'll take
and yeah,
I
we're passing the hat around for Dr. Gears.
I'll do whatever I can. You know, you got suggestions, you got stuff you want me to do, let me know. I'll sing and dance.
Like the singer.
I remember that was. I'm sorry. There was a. There was a thing. It was someone was at a. I just watched that cartoon a couple
Thank
days
you.
ago. It was my. Yeah, they haunt me.
It's personal.
But it was a picture of someone had gone to a wedding, and one of the little kitschy wedding things they had was, they said they had these little note cards, and they said, write down something you want us, to do or explore, and we'll do it. We promise to do it while we're married. And people write down like various things: have an adventure, love each other always, so on and so forth. This one guy's holding up his card, ready to do stuff.
Love it. That yeah. That's appropriate. I love it. It's absolutely necessary to life to have done that, and I appreciate it on behalf of everybody else who hasn't done that.
So on the subject of butt stuff, tell us about your best day in your involvement with SCP Foundation.
I really would have saved that for what has the community done. So.
Don't clip that. No.
No.
No clipping.
Certainly not with these walls.
No. We're okay. It's okay. I'm fine. Professional. Best day, and I was actually thinking about this, and because honestly, I've had a lot of really good days. I've had a lot of really good days that were a lot of fun. I think you're kind of looking for like a mechanical best day that I've had. Again, there was a time back when 4chan was still a pretty much clearinghouse of SCP stuff, where I did 12 in a week. I did 12 SCP entries in a week, and a good chunk of them are around. I think like it was 882, 914, 682, a couple other things. All in.
How long
I kind
ago
of been
was
working
this?
on them for a little bit, but like I finished.
Just a year.
Oh. This was way back. This is the beginning. This is back, like when the old wiki was relatively new. If that is way back. Is way back. This is back when we were just starting to get popular, and we hadn't. It'd be another probably 6 months to a year before we really started getting big and had to make decisions. We had like 300-400 entries. No, we had like 300-400 entries.
Man,
it was getting out of hand.
It was getting out of hand. We're fighting about how to classify 10K.
It's like, oh my god, this is just blowing up. Holy shit!
God.
And it's we had. So yeah, no, we just did 1,000. Fuck it, it's fine.
Let me. I'm processing this in my brain right now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
the Rusty Gears, the Clockwork Machine, and the Hard to Kill Reptile were all three shotgunned out with 9 other SCP articles.
Rapid fucking fire.
In the same week.
About a week.
Rapid fucking firing us with shit 10,000 articles later we're still waiting through.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think I'm trying to remember if 105, the Pipe Nightmare came around then. It might have. I know, I'm almost positive 053, the little girl, was in that too.
Bucket that you
And
just...
I think there were a few other ones.
Oh,
I think there were a few other ones. But yeah, no, that was all in the space of a week, because that was the beauty of it. You'd have an idea. It's like, I'm going to do this. And
how were you sleeping that week?
That's one of the things. Oh my God. I was just, it was great, because here's what I go through and stuff. It's like, oh man, I got an idea. I got a cool idea. And I go and I type it out. No proof, no anything. I just write a draft, spell check it, throw it on 4chan, and then I went to go get dinner or something. Like an hour period, give or take. just doing whatever, because there wasn't anything. It was so wide open. There were so many.
Were the test logs a part of the original articles, or because two of those I know, like the Clockwork Machine and Hard to Kill Reptile. The massive lore around those and the draw to those is the test logs. They had some. Okay, so here's one of the things. A lot of the original, like, bare bones 4chan posts didn't have the supplemental addendum test log material, but they did usually exist in some form or another. But they built up over time. It's a lot of times you'd have, like with 914, there's sort of the test log that's in the article to an extent, and then you have the other wiki of the test log. But those were always kind of there, and a lot of times it was they were just getting so big on the page that they had to put it somewhere else. So the idea wasn't just like, oh, we're going to make a whole other database for these tests. It was just like, wow, we have 800 tests. we gotta do. This is a thing. This is a thing now. That's something we got to do. So it's it's a process, but no, that was always a part of it, and usually in some form or another. And the idea was always, again, there's different ethos and there's different ideas with stuff, but it was always that the test logs, to an extent, some items don't really seem interesting or scary and such, just from the containment and the actual entry. Sometimes it's the logs and stuff. They kind of bring it home and bring it in, and that was always kind of the process to an extent. I'm insanely interested in the things that spurred the growth and that propelled, like, the early surge of SCP that helped it grow into what it is today. Like, if it was just 4chan posts that kind of cruised along, there was the potential for it to fizzle out. So you need that initial boom and the explosion. And I think the test logs for those articles, they become insanely, but because it was the draw of cross testing. So, are there any articles that you know of that were written specifically, like other SCP articles, specifically to cross test with any of those items that are out there? That
682.
Right, 682.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones that I'm talking about. Yeah,
the original entry for 682 was trash. I'm not going to say it wasn't. It was bad. It came through. I never remember the guy's name, but he came through and rewrote it. And it was fantastic. And I've quietly been taking credit for it ever since. But no, it was originally 682 was the idea of this is what happens if you cross test. That he was a result of some kind of cross testing thing, and very quickly that got thrown out of the window. But that was the idea. And again, at the time, 682 was a thing, because I think there was maybe a couple hundred, if that, SCP items at the time, and it was the first one where, like, the thing was to destroy it. That was the thing. And I guess I've done a few different things. The pan-dimensional vending machine, I specifically did because I think vending machines are neat, and it seemed like it'd be a good idea. But like a 914, a few different things, we're kind of done with the idea of not necessarily cross-testing with other SCP items, because that's a terrible idea, but to fool around and play with and give people, sort of a sandbox to play with. And that was one of the fun things. It's sort of like creating like a tiny library out in your front yard. And it's just like, I hope somebody takes a book. I hope someone thinks it's neat. And, I kind of did these things with like the vague intention. It's like, maybe someone will take an interest and do something with it. What do you mean 914 has its own wiki? The hell? Yeah, that's so Quirius, who we actually strangely didn't bring up in any of the articles that we covered or any of the staff stuff that we covered, but typically Quirius is somebody that does something and they are picking up the management role of the 914 Tesla. That there is actually an appointed position for somebody to manage the 914 Tesla. There has to be. It's
the torch
insane.
Is being passed.
Oh my God! God love him. Congratulations. Hold down the test log. if anything, very nicely worded copper plate handwriting card. Dr. Gears
was that sort of a typical thing for writers in the early days to do, was to not just be like, hey, look at this thing that I wrote, a thing that does a thing or whatever it was, but to say, hey guys, I wrote something that you can all play off of, like here in the test logs or here in the cross testing or here in the whatever. Was that like a common sentiment?
No, it was the first one. The former, not the latter. The idea was always like, hey, I did a thing. Here, check it out and stuff. And like, I think over time people had the idea, like, oh, if you want to check it out, it was always offhand and such. It was like, let's do a test log. But no, I can't really think, especially in the early days, like the idea or the intent was, let's do a giant test log. Like that was never really a thing. And
especially nothing somebody would think to tell a story through.
No. Like the idea of that to an extent, but no. But no, that was things have changed a lot, and some good, some bad, and such. But no, I think that was especially in the early. It was the Wild West, man. You could just do anything. You just went and grabbed a number, and you threw a picture on it. You threw something neat on it, then you posted, then you went and got a pizza. And that was kind of how it ran. And that's the weirdest thing. You were like, oh, DJ Cactus, Senpai noticed me. Yeah, he's like some new hire down in mail. I don't even know.
Yeah. Oh, I know that. Yeah.
Like Clef is still kind of a new kid to me. No, they were like all these people, like the only ones who like Fritz, Willie, Fat Ghost, Norlinson, they're old. They were older than me. And it's like, I'm sure no one understands that little incantation.
Fritz Willie was the one who actually moved the site into the new wiki, right?
Yeah, he was the original.
Anonymously at the time, like nobody knew.
No, because he was just an author kind of hanging around and such. And he didn't say anything for a long, long time. But no, I remember when Kane Pathos Crow, who I have told him his little doggy face, I thought his name was pretentious, and that April was and he's like, what? Like he didn't get it. I was awful. If we ever meet, I said, you have to do a thing for me. I'm sorry. You have to get one of those little tiny walkie-talkies, and you need to put it on a Labrador Retriever and have him walk up and just like talk to it. He's like, okay, cool. He's like,
clearly has to learn how to be a ventriloquist. Like now.
Yeah, it's fun fact. Kane used to write on the train.
Oh my god!
He used to write entries and postings on the train because that's where he could get Wi-Fi. Back on the day, he'd be. I'm like, wait, you're on the train.
It's the only place.
Oh my god!
So it's people going, how are you? If you're a dog, how are you typing? He says, I just mashed my face at the keyboard. To which someone said, "Do it now," and then he posted gibberish in the IRC. I have no doubt in my mind that on a public transit, that man mashed his face into a keyboard.
Somebody saw that.
And someone saw it. It's just like, wow, that's a thing that happened.
They may have posted it to 4chan.
Tell them that. That was that's always been one of the interesting things too about the wiki, is you'd assume it'd be a bunch of autists from 4chan, and it is, but there's a lot more than that. Like Snorlinson back in the day was a for real astrophysicist, like actual for real astrophysicist. Rocket science, the whole, like, he was a real science dude, and man, someone got in an argument with him, and that was a mistake. So he had people going through. Fun fact: my mother-in-law's had a degree of clearance through the government. She was served in the military, and she's been up there a little ways. And I've actually asked her to kind of look over the articles. It's like, does this, like, being someone who's been in the military, dealt with like weird, like fact sheets and files and stuff like that. Like, does this stuff look kosher? Does it look kind of, similar and stuff? She read through it. She's like, yeah. See, I don't want anything to do with any of this, but no, this is the kind of crap that you'd see. And so it's amusing. We have like teachers and physicists and like people who do things and like people with like lives and such, and like all this different stuff kind of coming into this little weird corner of things. And it's always been just so neat, like just kind of nattering and carrying on and stuff, and watching people get called out. It's like, why the hell do you know this? This is because I'm a neurosurgeon. This is how it works. Here's my journal
the things
accreditation.
I have a nightmare about.
To win an internet argument. Yeah. Here's my accreditation in a medical journal. This is how this works. It's like,
that's
fuck
that,
you anyway.
I've said it before. My perception of like the convergence of the SCP community and the fan base is academics, neurodivergents, and MTF fanboys. Yep. And somewhere everybody's going to land somewhere on that Venn diagram.
Yeah. Amusingly, they all listen to the Doom soundtrack.
Doom mentioned. Yo!
There it is. I was playing Doom yesterday. Nice. I've been doinking around with Project Brutality. I don't know if you ever played it. It's like Brutal Doom, but different.
Same, but different.
I like vanilla. I like the weird stuff. I like a few different things, but I was trying to get through Plutonian Experiment, aka Sweet Jesus Chain Gunners. Yo, dog, I heard you like chain gunners. So put your chain gunners. So you can chain gun while you chain gun. You hit stabbing. You hit scanning. Son of a bitch. Anyway, so I went over to TNT instead. I'm playing TNT Evolution. It's a lot better.
No.
Anyway, sorry. I really could not be more upset because my laptop is old, and even if I fix it, I can't play.
Yo, you are missing out.
Really?
I am
really sad. But regardless. Anyway, I'm sorry.
You should be sad. It's very good. You're gonna love it when you get to play
I get my stuff fixed and stuff, and you can hang out. I get my stuff fixed. You can hang out with Dr. Gears. Watch me play Doom badly and critique your
you
SCP
could
ideas.
you could Twitch that shit and like try to critique while you're stabbing and murdering things. That would be fantastic.
That's why that's probably what I'm doing. That was the idea, and then everything
set itself on fire. Yes.
But
all right.
Still. Anyway.
I heard, my little owl, that you were in the first back rooms thread. Any lore that you can share?
I was. Honestly, it was. I just saw it. I was on that thread, and I popped in. And I was like, "Oh, this seems cool." And it was an idea. People were kind of brainstorming and coming up with different ideas and stuff, and like kind of the, but kind of the idea of it and such is something that's kind of floated around, like the concept of the back rooms and sort of the unrendered space, the floating cache of reality. Is something that's kind of existed for a little bit, and people had a lot of ideas and thought that was very cool, and then they moved off from it. I was in the thread. One of the first one. I don't even know if I really commented. I think maybe I did. I was just kind of like checking stuff out. I was like, wow, that was really cool. And then it was sometime later. I'm like, wait a second. There's backrooms content. I came through, and then I saw. A few different things, but then I saw Kane Pixel's the first Backrooms thing. It's like I watched that, and then I had to show my wife, and she's not like that. She doesn't like shit like that at all. I'm like, you have to do this for me. She's like, no. Meanwhile, my youngest son, this is my fault. I don't mean to watch things in front of him sometime, but he's very quiet when he wants to be. And it has happened more than one. He'll come up and flop onto me with this little curly red head of hair and big blue eyes. He's, Daddy, I says, no, I want to watch it. And so it was always a very cool idea. I don't know how much I like what's happened to an extent. Like all the idea of like the pool rooms, the different layers and such, I think is kind of cool, but I think it's gotten a little bloated to an extent. It's got a little bit overdone. I always thought the better one was just kind of like the empty space because kind of weird stuff. One of the things that I always, if you have someone in the backroom stuff, something that I thought would be cool was the idea that like when there's some kind of like scribble monster or something, you know, horrible in the backgrounds or something like that, if you turned on the subtitles or something like that, you could it's like garbled nonsense. It would be, oh God, please help me, I'm lost, I think I'm sick, I'm hurt, please help me, please help me. I always kind of like the idea that a lot of the stuff that was in the back rooms was stuff that kind of fell in there and kind of had to pass through the loading cache to a certain extent, got all messed up. An interesting idea, but no, I thought it was very, very cool. I think the back rooms are a very cool idea, but I think it prospers more on the setting than it does the stuff in it. It's more of a setting-driven thing than a character-driven thing, and I think it's kind of transitioned away from and that kind of happens, you know, to an extent. But it's, I think it's a very cool thing. I think it's something that very much works in tandem with the SCP Foundation and a lot of this kind of stuff. I could see. Like, I'm sure there's crossover stuff. I've been scared to look into it, but I'm sure there's crossover stuff. And, you know, is async research some kind of weirdo division of a group of interest? You know, that would be, you know, kind of an interesting thing. Yeah, that was like the game Control. I don't know if you've seen or played, and if you haven't, you really, really should. It's super good. You know, their first DLC was called The Foundation. You know, granted, it didn't have anything to do with, you know, of course, nothing to do with it, but it's a big quasi-governmental organization that contains anomalies. So
I remember this. Yeah, this was just after Containment Breach, wasn't it? Control was. Yeah.
They're one of the iterations of Containment Breach. Yeah, no, Control was super good. I actually played through that. There we go. That's something I'll do. Play through Control and Critique because they're incompetent.
Oh God.
Brief winch. The thing that bugs me about Control and the thing that wouldn't fly in the Foundation, they just use stuff. It's like, oh, this does a thing if you touch it, so let's use it to have telekinetic force powers. No. No. Stop.
No.
Bad? No. Yeah, exactly.
Just touching shit. Just
Get
things
down
like,
from there.
oh, yeah, we're going to have you use it. No. Stop. Stop.
Put it down in a box, in a box, in a box.
Mm-hmm.
No. But no,
we love critique.
500,000 by 10 million.
Yeah,
critique is one of the things that makes the SCP Wiki what it is. It keeps the quality up, and there's processes that are built in.
Yep.
On the topic of critique, you know, you've talked about the early days in 4chan being the Wild West.
Yeah.
That stuff had to evolve. Can you tell us about the evolution of the critique process, the formalization of the practices and policies, and maybe any key players or certain articles that kind of tipped the balance?
It was
in that direction.
So initially, critique was pretty direct. If people didn't like your stuff, they deleted it. That was, I mean, it was some backwoods tombstone justice. I don't like your face, boy. Bang, and that was like. There wasn't any like review board or anything like that. But it was, again, there wasn't like a critique board or any kind of groups or anything. They just had people doing stuff, and that was just the way it was. And so we evolved, and we had to kind of get an idea of, you know, kind of a degree of mutual respect, but it was less like a grand bureaucracy, and it was a bunch of armed guys choosing not to shoot each other. You had a bunch of authors and stuff who basically just like, all right, everybody put down your sidearms and let's talk this thing out instead of getting into disgusting edit wars. You know, because that never happened again. no, that was it was a thing that evolved over time to a certain extent, and we've always had a very bare knuckled view to critique, and I think that's how it should be. It's like, I know I'm a big author and stuff like that. I've been eviscerated on critiques before. I've had people really lay in, and it's like, you know, I'm a big boy. I'm a Leo, which means I only cry in private. But it's like, it's a moment. It has to be that way. It's, if your stuff's junk, then it's junk. It doesn't matter, you know, what you do. It doesn't matter who you are. If you write something good, it should keep up, and if it's not, it should go. And it doesn't matter if it's me or somebody who's been part of the site for 2 minutes or whatever. It's the Ratatouille thing. My son's been watching it. You know, a great. Not everyone can be a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere. You can't judge it. You have to judge people on their work. You have to judge people on what they do to an extent. And unfortunately, you get to positions where you have people who perhaps trade on their persona and their influence and their place on the wiki more than what they can do. And to an extent, it's good. I mean, you don't necessarily have to know how to write a novel and do it well in order to tell someone that this writing sucks. You know, you don't have to create a great painting to be able to critique paintings, but you should know what's going on with it. And that's always kind of hard to balance. And no one likes criticism. No one likes critique. You know, your stories are your children to a certain extent. You don't want them cold ugly. You know, that's just how it is to an extent. And it's always been very, very bare knuckle. And things were okay for a while, up until a certain point where we were looking over stuff, and there was a lot of junk, and there were a lot of self-insert superheroes. And there was one in particular that, if I can't remember if I did that. There was a lot of superhero self-insert personas that met gruesome ends at the time. But there was one who was like some kind of super furry, I think. Like, I know they had a tail of some type. And one of their things was the ability to instantly sense and kill pedophiles. And I remember reading through this going,
oh my god.
Whose effing persona is this? Get the hell out. And I
appreciate what you're trying to do here, but no.
I appreciate what you're trying to do, but also face the wall.
The fucking Mean Girls squad.
But no, and that's the thing, is we were mean as shit. We were mean as shit to a certain extent. I think, if I remember, I was Clef coming through, because, I mean, you know, LOL decommissioning logs. Clef is definitely a beast and stuff, but everyone was like, God, that looked like fun. I want to get on the action. So people were doing this and proceeding to clown on entries, decommissioning them. And Clef was, I think, one of the first major voices that said, we have to stop doing this. Like, it's fun, but this is legitimately going to F people up and hurt their feelings. Like, we need to step back. We need to do stuff. So it's been a thing that's evolved over time, to an extent. And I wish I'd done more, honestly. I've always been, you know, people made a big deal, and, you know, I was the admin of the wiki for a long time. That was symbolic more than anything else. I really didn't do shit. Like, I hate to say that, but it was more symbolic than a lot of things, and that's the truth of it. I've always been more focused on writing than actually, like, managing a community and doing all this stuff. I've always been more on the creative side. And, you know, it takes a lot of people to make things run. Some people need to focus on managing the site. Some people need to actually produce content. Some people need to ant colony. Everyone's got a job, sort of thing. It's evolved over time. It's the hardest things and the biggest issues have always come from people. It's always like ego and people thinking things, thinking that because I do this or that, or I'm this or that, or I've created cross links for 2/3 of the site, I should have more of a say and precedent in things, and because I've produced more SCP entries than anyone else on the site, I should get a say on things, and if I don't, I'm going to take my toys and leave. And that's happened a few times, and that's not a lot of fun, and that really sucks. It's when people decide that getting internet points and the stroking of the e-peen is more important than the community and kind of doing the things. That's when the problem arises. That's when the issue comes up, because you have to you got to balance it. It's really hard. Like, you have to produce your work, but it's not like sending your kids to school. It's sending them off to war. It's one of those, you write your work and you do the best you can by them, and you prepare them up, and then you send them out, and hopefully they come back. Hopefully they go out and they do good, and sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't.
So on that note, then, sending your kids off to war and seeing how the SCP community has grown over the years, what is there anything that the SCP community has done as a whole, or particular authors that you are particularly proud of?
Oh, well, a lot of them. Typically my stuff is, of course, the best and the exemplar of what the SCP should be, of course. That's always been kind of a tough thing for me to a certain extent, because sadly people do listen to me, and people do kind of do this, and like, if I feel weird, like, it's someone coming, who's your favorite kid? That's well as I hey, about that. Yeah. Well, you, of course. No, but no, it's you. I have people that I there's people that I personally like, and there's some people whose work I like. But I'm pretty omnivorous. I kind of like what I like, and I've always really been the horror guy. And a lot of the SCP, for better or worse, say with it what you will, has kind of moved away from horror to a certain extent. Which, whatever. But it's things I dig. One of the things I really dig is seeing how much everything has bloomed, and how things have sprawled off, and how things. I mean, pick a form of media. Games, movies, TV, music, podcasts. Radio drama. Yeah, pick a form of media. You can get your SCP content in some form or another there. And it's the fact that there is such a dedication, and there is such a shared interest, and there's so much from it. Each individual portion and such, there's entries I like and entries I don't, and little bits and bobs that stand out, good or bad and such. But it's more than the sum of its parts. And amusingly, in a weird way, kind of like the appendix in the body, the creepypasta ancient roots of the Foundation, I think, to a certain extent, have trailed back and led to some of this modern stuff, because the weight of creepypasta was never in an individual item, because typically they used to be very, very short and very, very quick, and it wasn't a shotgun blast. It was a poison pill. It was something you didn't read one. You read 20, because they'd have like a list of them and such and different things, and you sit down and read 20, and each individual one wouldn't have much impact, but it's the effect, bit by bit, building up this charge, this toxin, so to speak, and then kind of standing up and going, you know what? I don't have to go to the bathroom. It's fine. I'll wait till the morning. I'll just sleep out here. Yeah, it's fine. And that's and to an extent, it's even in the modern age where you have sort of the effort of that, where it's not about watching a good SCP article on YouTube. It's about watching a 50 item compilation, while you're grinding in Final Fantasy or something like that. Like that's something about the.
That's going to be me on No Man's Sky later with the article.
There you go.
Nolan gave us a video that's 4 hours of fucking 001 proposals, all explained, and I'm gonna be on fucking No Man's Sky later listening to that.
Oh,
yep.
no.
4 hours of every 001.
Oh, God. That was also a secret. A secret of secret. I write other stuff. Fun fact.
Oh,
I actually do other stuff.
No.
Some of it I'm willing to,
you are only SCP.
admit to. Exactly. No, I wrote a bunch of horror stuff. I wrote a bunch of horror stuff. I have some horror shorts that I actually accidentally wrote a novella. Didn't mean to. Just kind of happened.
That's the first time I've ever heard that from an SCP author.
Yeah, I accidentally novella.
I accidentally novellaed all over the place.
It just happened.
Kept happening. It just kept coming out.
There's
I'm
more
old
for the
and you made me laugh.
clickbait.
I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Incontinence, owls, accidental novella. There's the clickbait. No,
like
on all things AO3, Archive of Our Own, I have a collection.
Oh my God.
Of my stuff.
That isn't
there.
something you should be admitting to in public.
I shouldn't be admitting. I shouldn't, but the thing was, my daughter was like, you need to put this somewhere else.
Now.
She's like, well, where should I put it?
It.
Like,
AO3,
where
though?
would you say? Well, she's a giant Harry Potter fan fiction doink. Yeah. So that's where she suggested, like, okay, I guess I'll put it on here.
Yeah. I mean, that's where she spends most of her waking life, I'm sure. That's what happens.
Ain't it true? Part of the reason why she's scared to come to the wiki. No, I got on there, and then I actually have it on the wiki as well. I have some of my Dr. Gear's story time entries. If you're very interested in that kind of stuff, check it out. Kind of follows the same beads and such, but it's one of those. Just this morning, I was kind of going through, and it's like going through. I got 2 or 3 items and like a handful of short stories and something that might turn into a novel sitting on my desktop, and it's like I should do something with these. I need to do something with these, but no, it's just a little aside and such. But no, it's been the evolution. It's been the that's been one of the most amazing things. Is just how much it's bloomed out and seeing things interpreted to a certain extent, like seeing different depictions of items or how things could shake out. Like, one big thing that was neat to see is the Church of the Broken God becoming a clockwork mechanical thing. And that was not the idea. That was not a thing at inception. That was not in any way
so much
something I was thinking of. It's cool that it worked out that way. I think it's awesome. But no, that was all organic stuff, and people kind of came through and started suggesting this, and it's like, aha, you figured it out.
My master plan. Yes. Excellent.
I never meant for this to become a steampunk cult.
I'm not.
There's nothing to do with me.
I'm not upset.
No relation.
Please ignore the grinding gears. Oh God.
So, what are some obstacles that young or inexperienced authors should be aware of that they might not see coming?
First one, they say, oh, you need to grow a thick skin. You need to grow a thick skin. No joke. Harden up. I like that's job one. Harden up right now. If you're going to do this, and not just the SCP, if you're going to publish, if you're going to work in writing or whatever, you got to harden right up. Because if there's one thing that's going to give you more trouble than anything else is crying and whining about someone's critique of your work. It doesn't matter if they're mean. It doesn't matter if they swear. It doesn't matter if they do this. You have to sit there and you have to take it. You have to say thank you very much, and then you can go on Twitter and call them a jerk. But you have to have the thick skin at the time to sit there and to put a fine point on each shit. Like you have to sit there and be able to take it good or bad and not not really do anything, not really, you just kind of stone face it. You need to find your own voice. You cannot write like other people. I, like every other horror author in creation, have tried to emulate Lovecraft. I do it more by accident than on purpose, and I'm not sure what that means. But it's
whoopsie.
But
all over.
I've read a bunch of different stuff. It's your best bet is to read, if you have something that you're like, I like horror, I like doing this stuff, read a bunch of it and figure out what you want to say, what voice you want to use. I'm known, apparently, for my kind of dry, detached, very cold sort of removal of things, which is interesting because I'm very much for that. I'm very much a show don't tell. Show the shadow on the wall. Show the after effects of the monster or something like that. But if you're going, and this is one of the things, if you're going to do something, play with shadows, play with suggestions. But when the time comes to show the monster, don't just have him step out of a wall. Like, have him get right up. No flinch, no anything. Eyelids clipped open to see this thing. When you do decide to use gore or, be more aggressive with things, do it. Full, bald-faced, not a suggestion. Instead of, like, stepping through the trees or something like that, it's like you come around a corner and there's this disjointed, horrible, pale thing screaming and crying, rocking back and forth. Not obscure, but just like, here it is. Here you are. I think it carries a little bit more impact, a little bit more spike to it, but definitely look for your own voice. Don't write like other people. If you're going to write a story, write a story. If you're going to write an SCP entry, write an SCP entry. They are not the same thing. That is one of the things, not naming any names, not saying anything. I've had some things. There seems to be a non-small population that tries to squish a narrative story into an SCP item, and that's nice. That's not how that works. Squish it into the extended logs, squish it into a tale, do something with it. The items are the items in their own beast, and it's nice. Like, I want to write an SCP item. I want to be on the main list. Obviously, that's its own beast. You have to do that, or do something else. Don't try to force one to be the other. It doesn't work that way. And if it doesn't work, like if you write something, it doesn't work, don't throw it out. I can't tell you the amount of things that I've written and created and had ideas for that were like basically parts ripped off of other ideas. Keep a journal. I have a book. Of all things, it's old Donkey Kong. It has like a holographic cover. My daughter got it for me from somewhere. I have, usually a few times a week, the worst nightmares I have since I'm a little boy. I have had the absolute worst nightmares, and I'll wake up, and the first thing I'll do is I'll write them down. And then I'll go through, and I'll look at them going, what the hell was I trying to write? What is... But keep ideas of things. Type things down. If you're going through, if a line of text, if a scene, if an idea pops into your head, write it down because you won't remember. You won't. I don't care what you might think, what you might do. You will not remember. You will not. Those little pieces come together. 106, the old man. One of the things that came from that was a brief thing. I was in the hospital in the middle of the night, and it was really dim and such, and I just had this vision of, again, my head, I don't know why, this vision of a gangly figure falling out of the ceiling and landing on the ground and then starting to get up. And I scribbled it down on like a piece of napkin or something like that. And I carried that around for a little while. That eventually went into some of the DNA and creation of 106. And it's like, write it down. Write it down. You get ideas, write them down. Keep them. They may not all fit the way you think you want to fit, but having those little pieces and parts in the mental junk drawer is what makes it good. What kind of brings it around. And a story is going to be what it's going to be. You might have an idea of how you want things to run, how you want things to do, but if a story is working right, it's something that kind of lives a little bit outside of you. And it's one of those, I really like this character. I love them. I want them to be okay. But the way this story is going means they have to hurt. And to a certain extent, like creation and writing and doing this stuff, if you're doing it right, again, it's not for everybody. If it's not for you, awesome. Find what you're good at. Maybe, pen a couple of things, move on. It's fine. But if it's really something you're in, if you're really in this like creative narrative thing, sitting on the toilet, washing dishes, making bread, walking out in the yard, trying to take the trash out in the middle of the night, you'd be thinking, man, just ideas, thoughts, little bits of scene, little bits of things. The first time you have to dry your hand off from doing something so that you can take notes on some kind of idea you've had, that's when you're on the hunt. That's when you're on the right track. It's when you have to step out of the shower, dry off your hand, where's an effing pen, scribble something down. That's when you're on the hunt to a good piece of work and when you're really in it. Consume the media, consume the stuff you like. If you want to write science fiction or horror or romance or bad fan fiction, eat a lot of it, bring a lot of it in, and you'll be able to more effectively do it. But if you're not writing, you should be reading. If you're not reading, you should be watching. If you're not doing any of those things, you're probably asleep. So some general tips to an extent, and a lot of it just comes down to experience. Throw stuff at the wall until it sticks. Don't be upset when it doesn't. Pick up the pieces, scrounge up, this meatball's okay, that's okay there. Scrounge it back up, make what you can of it. Keep working at it, and you'll get it eventually. It's just understand no one owes you anything. Until you get to the point where you can show that you can be trusted, and that your work is good, no one owes you jack. I don't care where you come from. I don't know what your home or family or personal life is. They don't owe you nothing. People say respect is earned, not given. And people say that and they don't really understand. You have to show, why you should be listening to them, why things are good. If your work is good, it will stand on its own merit. And if it doesn't, then keep it around until you do get a little bit more prestigious and be like, hey, this is pretty good here. But if you're going to do it, you have to stand up. You have to sit there and be willing to sit there and have someone call your child ugly and bite your tongue and go home. If you do not have the internal fortitude to take what may feel like direct personal insult and affront without being able to kind of put on a straight face and walk away, don't do this. Don't do it. Not even just SCP, not anything. Just don't get into this sphere, because that's what's going to happen. And unless you're going to fight the whole world, that's where it's going to sit. So I guess that'd be kind of the scatter shot of ideas.
Or surround yourself with an echo chamber and stunt your own growth.
I didn't know you were on Reddit.
All right. Do you have anything you would like to promote?
A few things. Of course, my entries and work. Might have heard of it. I'm that author that whose SCPs you like but don't know.
You've definitely heard of them.
You've heard of them, not my ass, but you've heard of my stuff.
Who the fuck are you again?
The big to-do over 184 has been very nice. Yeah, the big to-do. We never actually got into the introductions. Dr. Gears, hi. But a lot
I've
of my different
written
work.
such
God, I haven't done that in a minute. Anyway,
Dodecahedron.
but
yeah. Fucking kill a bitch with this thing.
of course, look at my work, read my stuff. Read my stuff, please. It's cool. I'm a Leo. You have to read my things and engage.
Please
with
love me.
like a fairy. Yeah, you have to love me, or I'll vanish like a fairy.
Please love me.
It's bad. It's bad. I'd very much like to.
Where have I heard those
Son
words
of a Breach,
before?
which is. Son of a Breach, which is a animation series that is coming soon TM. We have a lot of good artists involved. We actually have some who's been involved in previous animations. I know that there's been some run-ups to it. I've actually seen a lot of the work for it. It's actually really, really cool. I'm going to be doing a fair bit of consultation there. I've already gotten into a few very involved conversations about 106 and how to depict him correctly. And so that's something to look forward to if you're feeling like having a bad day.
That's gonna be great.
That's going to be a thing. But actually, it's episodic and such. It actually has a narrative, got a lot of good characters. Looks very, very cool. There's going to be some cameos and such. I will be doing some voice work there for a few different things. I don't know if I'm really supposed to say over much. I mean, there is, Dr. Gears. I might be doing a little voice work for him. There is something, though, that I'm interested in. I don't know if it's actually going to work, so I guess I may as well say it because I'm very proud of myself. Doing voice work for 106, so to speak. I think I'm getting there. I was practicing labored breathing at one point. My wife proceeded to rush to the kitchen to see what the hell the problem was. And I'm like, okay, so I'm getting there.
Subtitles, heavy breathing.
That was, that was, amusingly, that was Luke Skywalker. What the hell's his name? The actor.
Mark Hamill.
Hamill, yeah.
Mark Hamill. When he was voicing the Joker, when he was working on the Joker's laugh for Batman the Animated Series, he knew he had it because he was practicing it in his car, going to the recording, and he was just cackling like a madman. And it was a summer day, and he looked over, and there was a dude staring at him, mouth open, and he blew a red light to get away from him. And he's like, "That's it.
Love it."
That's the
love it.
That's the laugh. Definitely Son of a Breach. Being involved with that's very, very cool. I would promote my streaming Twitch stuff. I am trying to resist being a Twitch thought, but money's money, and if a hot tub stream is required, I guess that's where my life is going. But it's not actually running yet, so we're stuck. So we're going to see. Hopefully, it'll be soon. Definitely my GoFundMe. If you could help out with that, I would appreciate a whole heck of a lot. I really do appreciate it. As does my family. And if nothing else, if you're interested in hearing more from me and seeing me do stuff, having a house would probably be a good start to that. But no, unfortunately, I wish I could put like social media or something. I don't have any. That newfangled X and stuff.
That's the one thing that's permissible to dead name. It's Twitter. Don't try to church it out.
There it is, Twitter. That's okay. That's okay.
If you're going to be doing streaming and stuff, you're going to have to learn some of it.
I know I'm gonna have to, but I never really had stuff. It's like, why do people care? I'm just sitting there whining.
Old Ben shakes fist at cloud.
Pretty much. Pretty much. But no, maybe I'll start posting pictures of various stray cats and whining about my life. There we go.
Speaking.
No,
sorry.
Speaking of, I like that segue. That's bad.
Yeah. Speaking of Twitter, let's go look through our mail that we got this week. Yeah. Gears, for context, we put out on our social media for listeners and fans of the show to send us basically anything we want, anything they want, and we read it out for them on air to embarrass ourselves in front of the entire internet. And we read from both our Twitter and the emails that we get. So the first from Twitter that we got was, "Does the Black Moon howl?" I don't know, bruh. From Loggerhead.
Hey, quick as we can. Who came up with that? Does the Black Moon howl? Do you know?
Woo.
Where did that originate?
No. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh my god. I'd have to look through because I remember having that conversation. I can't remember.
We can loop back around to it, but I saw that and I was like, where did that come from? Who's brain?
I remember that was
that
a thing. I think I almost want to say Clef, but I blame him for a lot of things. It's possible. I almost want to say lost, but I blame a lot of things on him. So
it'd be interesting.
I don't know.
If I didn't do it, it's Clef's fault.
SCP lore.
Yeah.
Get in my brain.
I can't
Very
do
much.
this impression, but I'm going to read it.
I think
like
Nolan
you
can.
guys fucking.
I think Nolan can.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Nolan.
Yeah.
You do it.
You know what really grinds my gears? From
Thanks,
Sue.
Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Sue. All right. Yeah. In the worst Peter Griffin impression possible. I don't think that was
You
the
know what
worst.
really grinds my gears?
Yeah.
The
When fucking
worst.
old people come in and start telling us how things should have been.
The
All right?
worst
It's
Peter
been 15 years about, okay?
Oh
Just
my
get with the
God.
times, old man, all right?
Oh my god.
Twitter's a thing.
Twitter's a thing. You broke gears.
That was what broke gears this
You
episode.
broke gears.
Broken gears.
Oh.
Oh my god.
You jammed his gears.
All right.
All right.
Tripping a gear. It's
All
all
right.
right.
We got another one for you, Gears.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got another
this
one.
one,
terrible.
Gears, this one is for you in particular. It's
Okay.
from Rura,
Oh,
and
no.
they ask, say Scooby-Doo, but replace the ooh with E.
Hey, say Scooby Doo, but replace the ooh with E. Scooby Doo.
Yes.
No!
But-
wait, hang on!
But also we want also it was for fucking
No, they're trying
also it was for Gears
No,
to
wait
do,
a
Kelsey.
second. That took a solid 10 seconds. Like, what?
What?
Wait!
Skeevy.
Skibbity!
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did
Still
it.
confused.
Skibbity!
That yeah.
Toilet shit!
Trying to get the old man to say skibbity.
No, it's from some Skibbity,
is that
Ohio
how it
ribs,
is?
as
Yeah.
the young people say.
Oh.
Oh!
Mm.
Nolan doesn't know what the young people
God.
say.
This
He's
one's
just
from
trying to
Mike
blend in.
Vale. Okay, I gotta actually do
All right,
stretches
yeah,
for this
yeah.
one.
This is the
Oh,
moment
no.
we wait for in every show when he has to say something that makes the
Let me
rest
get
of
this
us
right up here. And
fucking wonder how he does it.
have you ever had a dream that you could do so you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Yay! Thanks, Mike Vale. You absolute
It's so
perfect gem.
stupid.
This is what they do to us.
I'm gonna keep that one for warm-ups, Mike.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
Somebody
Oh
actually
my
transcribed that. Holy shit!
I've got one.
I like the one where they put music to it.
I have to back up from my
Oh.
microphone because this is all caps.
Oh my god.
All right, ready? Meta 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 meta. The Snake Lord.
Thanks, Snake.
Yes, I am aware of the modern movement in the SCP. Thank you.
Oh God.
It's nice to have that paraphrased.
Next one. Dr. Iceberg is amazing and handsome and very underrated. He deserves a promotion and a break. Iceberg supremacy. I love him. Colons, parentheses, Sylv is Iceberg's #1 fan, kitty face.
From Sylv.
Who was that from?
Thank you, Sylv.
There's a thing here we don't know about.
Okay, now listen. I didn't kill him.
I love Dr. Iceberg. It's true.
I've killed people. I didn't. That whole thing wasn't my thing. He's just an aide. It's not. Why? Why? It's the mock shoujo manga cover, or not shoujo. The boy's fucking thing, whatever it's called, and it's just like this very detailed. It's like why does this exist? Oh, it's a whole thing. Which, I mean, to an extent is flat. I mean, it's like people regard something that you've made enough to make fan art of it. It's very, very nice, but it's like, what? but why?
I would do that on purpose. Oh, you like to make fan art of this thing? I'm gonna kill it.
Oh God!
Or in a horrible way.
It's just like it's like, oh, it's some of the fan art. I don't like that fan art of 106 exists.
We were just talking about fan art with another artist. We were
like fan
who were
art,
we
yeah,
talking
but
to
not
about Rule 34? Fan art?
Cactus.
Was it with Cactus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That.
And he wasn't aware of it. He looked up and he was like, "Oh,
you dumbass." Goes, oh wow, that's yeah, that's certainly a penis.
Yeah.
That's
a penis.
Sure
is.
Yeah. Skibidi Riz,
That's a
Ohio,
problem.
bullshit, whatever the fuck they say.
Oh my God. All right.
I remember when my parents got on my ship for using cool.
Yeah, it's just kids. It's just slang.
when
I really don't
cool was
understand why
the new
people get
slang.
angry at it. Yeah. Dude, wicked.
Because it's
Sup?
stupid.
It's slang.
That
it's
makes
slang.
all the sense in the
It's
world.
the evolution of
That makes
language.
sense.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just these new kids, they don't know what they're doing in our trash.
Things sometimes, right? Goddamn kids and their goddamn rap
they
music.
Found a They found a tablet from Mesopotamia, ancient Mesopotamia, that is functionally a dude bitching that kids don't know anything these days.
Yeah.
That everyone wants to write a book.
Yeah.
And that the world's going to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've been doing this long.
For what is that then? That's about 6,000 years.
There was
4,
a
5 or 6,000 years
right
for
around.
that. Yeah.
I loved
4,000
it.
BC.
Jeez.
I read an article about
Minimum.
the propensity for like archaeologists and researchers and historians to go out and find runic writing and scribbling and things and think that it's some majorly deep.
No.
And there was like a Viking settlement. Maybe it was in Britain. I don't remember, where they found like this cave and they started trying to translate it. One of the things was like, Horgath took a shit here.
Yeah.
And the other one was like, this guy's wife has the biggest ass I've ever seen. That was literally, it was like bathroom wall scrawlings, like literally the bathroom wall from 2,000 years ago.
One of my favorite things is like Rome graffiti.
Yeah.
That you'll find chiseled into
Rome
fucking
graffiti.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Just
I love that
chiseled
shit.
into the thing. I fucked a barmaid.
Yeah.
Just
or even
straight up.
under the.
There was one
under the big,
recently. I think it was.
What's it called? Go ahead. Sorry.
It was there was one. It was like France or something like that. There was this huge old cathedral, and for ages there was this carving on a rail that no one could decipher. And finally, someone went through and it was a very obscure old form of Nordic. and they finally translated it, and it basically translated to Ulfrin was here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hundreds of years trying to figure the thing out. It's just like, hi.
There's the Kilroy scribble.
It's just really cool.
All right.
That's awesome.
Last one from me,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Mention the water bottle from Genuinely Tired. What?
I have no context.
Is that for Gears?
Yeah, I have no
Mention
idea.
the water bottle.
Okay, yeah.
From
that
Genuinely
is for
Tired.
Water bottle.
That's
I don't.
gotta be for you.
I get hit in the head a lot. I don't know. There's a lot of things that could be.
We said we'd say it, and we said it. Genuinely tired.
Ecads.
No, it couldn't be. You bet.
Oh no.
I need you to respond. This is to be
Investigation
continued. I want to know if Clef put him up to that. Because I logged into IRC drunk one time, and I said some things I probably shouldn't have, and they keep coming
tired.
up.
Please leave in the Twitter comments below if Clef set you up to
It
this.
has to be... It has to be something else that I forgot about.
Oh,
it
yeah.
Go ahead and
You have
respond
to
that post
respond
right
to Genuinely
Anyway.
Tired. Yeah. Gears wants to know if Clef set you up to this. Or are you, Clef?
Or I can't... Or if I just forgot something. Yeah, I may have just forgot. I may be reading too much into this. Jumping in shadows, but no.
All right.
Anyway.
All right, did Cliff put you up to this? They put the Hamter Chief on the SCP-096 Dagger Striker.
To put
Cool.
the Hampton Chief. Thank you. All right.
And,
Last one from
good
Twitter.
Lord.
Last one from Twitter. Item number SCP-173. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. Item SCP-7173 is to be kept in a locked container at all times. When personnel must enter SCP-173's container, no fewer
Is it
than
the
3 may
whole
enter
entry?
at a time, and the door is to be relocked behind them. From El Pengui, thank you.
Thanks for that
They're
reminder.
just wanting me to read the entirety
Oh, that would have
of the
been
173
hilarious.
I
That would-
love that. That's awesome.
Oh my
That's
god.
awesome.
Nolan will read entire articles for us. If somebody
Nobody's done that
subscribes
yet,
to our
thank
highest
God.
Patreon.
I think it may be coming, but somebody's going to send us an
Now
entire
that we've
fucking
put it
package
out there.
or some shit.
Yeah.
An entire thing. Yeah,
But
give
they
my
would,
ideas.
you know
that'll
what?
go well.
You know what the rule is? If you want us to read the whole thing, you have
Donate.
to post it as a Twitter thread.
I
Like
would
you
say
have to put
donate,
the text in the Twitter reply. So
Look, all I had to do was throw $20
There you
at
go.
you for you to read
Omni
fucking
Rom.
Jam on a ROM.
There's a
So
lot of things. There's very few things I wouldn't do for $20.
$20 is $20.
There is
$20.
so. Speaking of which, by the by, while we were trying to come up with ideas on how to raise money and such, one of the things that was touted around, I
Oh,
really shouldn't
no.
bring it up because it might
Oh.
effing happen. If there's someone like, if we set some kind of like ridiculously high goal or like some stupid high donation came in, that I would start reading my immortal as Dr.
I'm
Gears.
donating right
I
now.
don't
Do it.
Want
Do it. No,
I
don't put that
wanna-
out there.
I don't want
Don't
to
do that,
do.
kids.
I don't know if I can drink enough alcohol to hurt myself, so that goes away.
Do either of you guys know what my immortal is?
I have no
Oh
idea.
my
Kelsey,
god!
you need to look up my immortal.
Evanescence.
It is the worst Harry
Oh, okay.
Potter.
You need to
fanfiction
look
that
up my
exists.
immortal, because just so you can laugh at the
No, you don't.
the
No, you fucking
dumbest
don't. No,
shit
you don't.
ever
No, you
written
don't.
for fan. Yes,
No, you don't.
Yes, you
don't
should.
listen to her.
because he'll start
Shush.
and he'll read most
No,
of it.
she's wrong.
No, I'm not.
She's
It's
wrong.
the stupidest thing, and you need to be exposed.
It is
So
so.
bad.
It is so impressively bad. You go through any part of it, it's like this has to be
Stop.
satire.
No.
No one is this stupid.
Hey,
No,
I will read you the,
Is it
the
like
first
a room?
sentence. I will read you the first sentence. Hi, my name is Ebony Darkness
No.
Dementia Ravenway, and I have long ebony black hair. That's how I got my name. with purple streaks and red tips that reaches my mid-back and icy blue eyes like limpid tears, and a lot of people tell me I look like Amy Lee. It's long fanfic. That's just the...
She rewrites...
I'm a vampire, but my teeth are straight and white. I have pale white skin. I'm also a witch, and I go to a magic school called Hogwarts in England, where I'm in the 7th year. I'm 17.
She's not making... This is the actual...
This is
the... I don't...
For example, today I was wearing a black
I really want my
corset.
family to be okay, so I guess if this is how it works...
I was wearing black lipstick, white foundation, black eyeliner, and red eyeshadow. There are 11 chapters.
Kill her. Make it stop.
There's
Anyway, into the actual email.
How do we get Kelsey to read it?
To transition out of this for Gears.
Nolan's no fun today.
Yeah. And it's totally not because we've been doing this for 4 hours and I haven't eaten yet today.
You could have said something.
I didn't want to be that kind of guy, okay?
Go on.
Anyway,
first
so
email.
now you're being this kind of guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's hangry. He's hangry at us instead. Okay.
First email.
Let's go.
Hey, friends. Yeah, it's taken this long. I think we're cool people. Whatever. Want to fight about it? For real, though, y'all are some of the coolest peeps I get to send weird emails to. Not going to talk about Burger King. They aren't really royalty. So, question time. Personal sleeper hit for a cartoon. Hope y'all have the best of times. From Hollow. P.S. Kelsey, I want to know your favorite
Cetacean.
Cetacean, blue, gray, northern
Crab.
right, any of them.
Think crabs.
Humpback. Have I told you guys my drive-in theater story with my dad?
Nope.
Okay, I'll save that for another day since no one's getting hangry. But yeah, humpback. That's the answer. Sleeper hit for a cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Sleeper hit for a cartoon.
That's hard. It's not real. I would say that.
Like that exists?
Star Trek Lower Decks. It's not really a sleeper. Like, it's actually a really great and well-recognized cartoon. But Star Trek Lower Decks. Fucking watch that
I just
shit.
remembered the names. Clone High.
If you have...
I'll have to agree with Kelsey on that one.
There's a couple that I've watched. I have to say it because... Batman the Animated Series, the old one. If you have not seen it, go.
No! That's not. You can't list that as a sleeper hit, though. That is like world renowned.
Watched it? Everyone here, yeah.
Know what you're talking about?
Yes, the Autismo Cube has watched cool anime and cartoons. It's everyone else.
Most of them listen to us. Like all 5, we've got 5 fans, and they all know what you're talking about.
And Mark Hamill is the Joker. Holy shit! Yep. Holy shit!
It was the fact that they brought him back for the Arkham games.
I think it counts as
If you like the Arkham games, you like Batman the Animated Series, you just don't know it yet. Go watch it. It's good.
All right.
Or the movie Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker.
Yeah,
that was a pretty good.
Sub-Zero's good too.
Let's not bring
Master
up
the Phantasm.
Let's just put the killing joke behind the curtain where it belongs, and we can enjoy it in private.
Yeah, we don't talk about that movie. That wasn't even a movie. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Oh shit, what up, my dudes?
Yes.
How's things going for y'all? Me, I've been smoked out by Canadian wildfires. Wait. I've been smoked out by Canadian wildfires. Gotta love being near the border. Question time. If you could get any superpower, which and why? Me, super regeneration. Want to get the smoke out of my lungs. Anyway, I got to annoy Nolan by having them read a thing I wrote on Twitter, which y'all have already read. Donkey, Hollow. All right, pick a superpower.
Yeah, thanks again, Hollow. Flying. I want Archangel powers. I want them wings, bitches. Or, no, Martian Manhunter. I would sell my soul to be Martian Manhunter. Without the fire fear.
I'll go for strength. Why not?
I
mean, I probably like do some kind of exotic weird thing, but it's like, no, just make me the Hulk. That's cool. I'll just be the Hulk. That's cool.
Your secret is you're always writing.
What it is, just some frustration of my inability to appropriately compose this scene leads to me hawking a fuel truck at some kind of monster. I do it.
For me, I have the basic answer and then the complicated answer. The basic answer is teleportation, because why not? You can just fucking go anywhere you want. You don't have to spend a dime.
Bam.
Especially for people like me who have to take the bus everywhere.
That's the utility pick.
The complicated answer, telekinesis, mainly because if you really know what the fuck you're doing with that power, you could essentially scale yourself to essentially a minor reality bender at that point.
Yeah. If anyone mentions the Speed Force for 1 second, I will come to your house.
I swear to Jesus Christ, I will reach through this.
I will come. Come over there.
Reach through this fucking camera and slap somebody. Don't do it. He's right. Nope.
Mine would be some kind of investigation, like being able to discern,
Super Batman,
to either know the nature of a thing or like I know everything about this thing when I want to know everything about it.
Super Batman.
Love it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's a good one.
Yep. And that's all we have for this week. Thanks to
yours
for joining.
No problem at all. Always happy to do it.
Round of applause.
Thanks to our patrons, Arsfel, Lack of Lepers, Ian Anderson, and Evan McDonnell for supporting us at patreon.com/scpweekly. Your support helps us keep the lights on. Intro and outro music was Caught You at the Perfect Time by Superintendent McCupcakes. Weekly is distributed by Smooth Cadence Productions. SCP Weekly is not affiliated with the SCP Foundation Wiki, and as such, the opinions presented in this program are our own and do not necessarily reflect those of the Wiki or its staff.
Music is provided by Epidemic Sound.
Content relating to the SCP Foundation, including the SCP Foundation logo, is licensed under Creative Commons Sharealike 3.0, and all concepts originate from the SCP Wiki and its authors. This recording being derived from this content is also released under CC by SA 3.0. Until next time, I'm Kelsey.
I'm Cassie.
And I'm Noli. The K is silent. And this was SCP Weekly.
We did it again. Holy shit.
Out the park.
It's like the gasping breaths of a drowning
Nolan,
man.
for the love of God, go eat food.
Eat.
I'll do the survival thing, I guess.
You're wasting away.
Fucking eat.
You're so skinny.
She's not feeding you.
You're so skinny.
Yes, eat.
Manja.
Diamonds on my feet, caught up in these talks, circling my head top. Should have been more cautious. Now I got what I wanted. Many I've been here before, made it out of 11 more. Like my frontal cortex, so I can't stop. I want it all. Listen up, I'm calling you. I need you to tell the truth. Remember when you wanted to. Remember that I said what you. Turn and eat your greens. When you fight, but you do real clean. Then you come to the bed and you love real dirty. It's everybody sweater drops, you're real keen. Bring let me get your juiciest piece. Can't remember when I had the same piece. The shops at the club never had no boundaries. How's it gonna be? You wanna eat these centipedes? Where we gonna go? You're gonna need these calories. Giving me a treat to refill these batteries. Then you only them on your knees, there's no way to dream. Ooh.